Thanks for joining us, everybody. How are you this Saturday night? We are live worldwide. This is the Jim Masters Show live, and we say hello to you and you and you and you. We were just on about an hour ago. This is our second show. This is our bonus show. We were on live at 3 p.m. Eastern till about, I think, 5:30, something like that. Had a quick dinner in between, changed everything, hair and... well, the hair is real, but I mean, we coiffed the hair in a different style because we want every show to be different, different outfit, different everything. And of course, the set is here and the fire in the fireplace is still going. We're going to be doing some s'mores after the show as well. We had a brilliant guest on from the Irish folk and rock band Corner Boy about an hour or so ago, live from Dublin, Ireland. And it was an epic, an awesome conversation, an episode. And if you missed it, it was exclusively on YouTube, live from Dublin. He performed live. Mick Darcy, who is the founder and lead performer of that incredible group live in Ireland. And it was really terrific. And so many of you lovities were there, people from all around the world, new viewers joining us internationally as well. That is available. If you missed it, it's available on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Just look for the episode we had earlier today. We did an afternoon episode, which was 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and it was 8 p.m. GMT in Ireland, Scotland, and England. That's why we did it earlier today. We did it earlier because it's 8 p.m. for them in the UK and Ireland. So if we started at this time, it'd be like midnight and kind of late to be doing, the live show and everything for them there. So good to see everybody who's joining us again. I hope you had a quick bite to eat, a drink, whatever you did. You fixed your hair. I don't know what you might have done in that hour's time, but it was a mighty quick turnaround. I'll tell you that. But hey, that's what we're all about. We're live. We have great entertainment, on location segments, special features, amazing guests from television, film, Broadway, Hollywood, music, science, nature, health, wellness, culinary arts, comedy, you name it. We are a traditional entertainment lifestyle talk show series in our 35th plus week, over 200 episodes daily for you here on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and also on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Now, earlier we had a nice cup of coffee with our afternoon show with our very special guest from the group Corner Boy, Mick Darcy. Now we've stepped up. Remember I said we're having the coffee in the afternoon? We're stepping up to a nice little glass of wine. And there you can really see it. This was from Kathleen Walker, one of our levity viewers and dear friend. This is a New York Mets official wine glass. It was from a birthday gift from September. And now we've got some actual wine in it. So we say, thank you very much for joining us. Very, very nice, very light. For a Saturday night, we've been working very hard all week with my professional work in television and radio, and now doing 2 shows today and another show tomorrow, 2 shows on Monday, 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday and Sunday next week, and all the days in between. Absolutely amazing. We're on fire here. I guess literally, huh? I didn't even realize that we are. The show continues to grow by leaps and bounds, and many of you know this is an extension of the work I do professionally as a television and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, voiceover artist, stage MC, and so much more. And some 35 plus weeks ago, we brought the TV equipment in, built the home studio. Now we're all festive for the holidays here, and we're tweaking things, going to add a couple more things to the set, and we should be good to go. We've got the fire going. We've got all the colorful lights and gifts. And it's holiday time. Happy holidays to you and yours. Again, awesome to have you here. We got a ton of comments on our Saturday night. Again, if you missed our earlier episode on YouTube exclusively, live and direct from Ireland, watch it on our YouTube channel. You're going to love it. A lot of good music, Irish crack, lots of levity, and cool times. All your fans are here too. Of course, that's our cast of characters. We'll show them a little bit later. But we have a busy show, and we want to have an opportunity to welcome our guest real soon. And long time no see. Yes, you were with us for our afternoon show with Mick Darcy, the founding member of the Irish folk and rock band Corner Boy, earlier today. Good to see you. I hope you had a quick bite to eat. You are here, and we waited for you, Mary Bishop in Florida. Good evening, Jim and Lovities. You're back. And yes, we welcome two-time Grammy-winning songwriter Dennis Scott, as well as musician, entertainer, performer, and so much more. He's all set. He's in his studio. He's got the guitar on his lap. He's been practicing for the last, or rehearsing. He doesn't need to practice. He's been rehearsing for about an hour or so. He's got a lot of music coming our way. There's a wonderful tie-in to somebody near and dear to my heart and your heart, I'm sure, Mr. Rogers. And you know my affiliation for many years with public television. Matter of fact, for those of you in Connecticut, I'll be on public television at 9 o'clock with Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Ghost of Christmas Eve special. You can see me on at 9 p.m. tonight on Connecticut Public Television, CPTV, co-hosting segments. But Mr. Rogers, of course, beloved to all of us here. And yes, Dennis Scott is here. Great conversation, music ahead. You got it, Christine in North Carolina. Tesla Bella, good evening, Jim, and special guest Dennis Scott. Hello to all levities. So looking forward to another evening of fellowship and music. Hey, bonus, folks, an exclusive. Tess is going to be my special guest. She's coming back on our show this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have actress and entertainer and wonderful music teacher, singer, and so much more, Jill Usden. She's on from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. this Monday with me as my special guest. And then Tess is on for a special, lively and fun, music-filled, entertaining and comedy-filled episode Monday night. So Tess is back as my special guest this Monday. We just put this together, she and I, real quickly. Join us on Monday for that episode. And Roy Buckley is here tomorrow from Ireland, that very popular Irish pop singer and balladeer. Hello, Mary, and hello, Tess. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Good evening, Jim. Happy to be listening again from Cleveland, Ohio. You were with us just an hour ago for our afternoon episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Wasn't that a fun episode? We had a blast. And again, if you missed it, you would love it. Watch it on YouTube. Sherry says, hello, Mr. Levity and all the Levities. It's so wonderful to be back in Levity Hall and with you again. Thank you very much. And this evening, and we welcome Dennis to Levity Hall as well. We're so excited to have you here with us. He's excited to be here. We're right now on our YouTube and Facebook channels at Jim Masters TV, YouTube channel, Facebook page. Hi, Jim. Hi, Pamela. Good to have you here as well. Anne is here. Hello, everyone, and hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We are. It's been busy. This is our second show of the day. Good to see you, Anne, in Southern California. Merlin is back for action. Hi, Jim and all Levities. She's recovering from all the dancing she did in her living room to our afternoon show. This came from Ireland. She's in Canada. Hi, Jim and all Levities. And Bernadette is back. Hi, Jim and all Levities. Show 2 of 2. Here we are. We love that. That is real loyalty and levity. We love it. Hi, Jim and everyone on the show. Hope all is well from Avril, who is watching in the United Kingdom and Hampshire and Great Britain. Good to see you tonight, Avril. And Pamela Perkle. Hi, Pam. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I love when everybody greets each other from South America and from beautiful Brazil. Carla is here. Saturday night on Masters. I like that. Saturday night on Masters. Hello, Jim and gang. Good to see you as well. And Wozniak says, good evening, Jim and everyone. Had to leave for a show early for dinner. Granddaughter, looking forward to watching Reminder in Archives. Yes, Remainder in Archives on YouTube. You got it. Oh, how beautiful the set looks. Thank you very much. We've got one more thing we're going to add to our set tomorrow. We can't wait. It's we're picking it up tomorrow. And tomorrow, tune in, gang, at 3 p.m. on our YouTube channel. See if you can see what we've added to the set tomorrow. Good to see you, Tess. Can't wait to have fun with you Monday night at 7. Our dear friend June is here. Hello, all. Good to see you, June. And everybody's saying hello to everybody. Kathleen is here. She was with us for our earlier show as well. You like the background, Allison? Thank you very much. Yes, we were here with Mick. It was a great show. And hi, Jim and all our levities from Maryland. Yes. Watch the replay of the earlier show on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. You're going to love it. Hi to you too, Allison and everyone. And and Marsha Murphy Watson. I will watch the first show in the archives. Fabulous. Looking forward to seeing Dennis. Long time. Yeah, he's here. He's all positioned, ready to go. And more comments coming in. Good to see everybody. Soraya, hi. Good to see you as well. Ellie is here. Hi, Dennis. Looking forward to tonight. Good to see you and welcome. You're watching on our YouTube channel. Hope you can subscribe to the channel. We would love that. Share the levity. The show is all about light, levity, and love, or levity as we call it, which is a word I stumbled on accidentally by saying love and levity together. Looking forward to meeting Dennis and all these great comments. Thank you. Glad you enjoy the background and so much more. We'll take a look at the rest as we go along here. We've got a busy show, and I want to make sure we get our guest in right away because he's waiting in the wings with lots of great entertainment and so much more. We're going to enjoy two-time Grammy award-winning songwriter, producer, writer, performer Dennis Scott, who has left no corner of the children's music industry unexplored. His songs have been performed by such diverse artists as Faith Hill, Ray Charles, Sugarland, Allison Kraus, the Muppets, Amy Grant, CeCe Winans, Trisha Yearwood, Donna Summer, Charlie Daniels Band, Shari Lewis, Jon Secada, Roberta Flack, Tanya Tucker, Gilbert Gottfried, Loretta Lynn, Ricky Skaggs, Vereen, and others. He's won a Grammy and an Emmy and a Parents' Choice Award and has been nominated for Christian Music's Dove Award. You hear his work on radio and television and stage, audiobooks, home videos, recordings, and CDs. He writes, produces, and composes custom songs and music for all aspects of the entertainment industry. And we're so honored to have him here live on our show. It's a pleasure to welcome. He's pretty much set up and almost in the same setup, but just a little closer. Dennis Scott is here. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you. You don't have to call me. I'm just a reject from the Corner Boys. I tried to get into the outfit, but I wanted a round corner and I wanted a square corner, so it didn't work out.
Well, you could have done, I guess, rectangular maybe, right?
Exactly. I didn't think of that. That's why you have the TV show and I'm here.
Well, that's you've got a couple of Grammys there to your liking, and congratulations on that.
Thank
That
you.
is well earned, and you are a treasure, and not just dealing with wonderful children's music, but in all of the entertainment industry. And it's an honor to have you here. We toast you as well. Now, you don't have to grab anything. You've got the guitar in your hands. If once the guitar's not in your hands, you could always grab something. But yeah, you could pretend. And we always toast our guests. We are very classy here at the Jim Master Show Live.
Yeah.
How have you been? I know you've been looking forward to joining us. We've been looking forward to having you on for quite some time, Dennis. And thanks for making time out of the busy, holiday season and all to join us on a Saturday night. How have you been, and how have you been staying creative and connected during all the craziness of everything we've been dealing with this year?
Well, it's Saturday night.
Yes.
I'm here with you, so obviously neither of us could get a date for tonight. So that's the way it works out. No, everything's great. It's funny. I thought I would be bored during this quarantine period, but there's always something to do, and I'm catching up on all the things I didn't do. My attic has never been so clean. It's like the song, Quarantine. Now my attic's never been so clean. Haven't shaved, I look like Wolverine. Oh, I so bored with quarantine. No charge for that.
No charge. That's right. No charge for that. But if you'd like the rest, it's available at.
Actually, I work with a Beatles band. That's part of the fun things that I do. It's called the Wanna Beatles. We've been together for 12 years now, I think. And during this period, we said, well, what are we going to do to reach out to our fans? So we wrote a parody called Quarantine to the tune of Yesterday. So just something to spend together doing silly things together.
Well, I have to tell you, as you know, the show's light, levity, positivity, good times, entertainment, great conversation, and we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. And I just want to show you some of the warm welcomes that have already come in here at what our viewers call Levity Hall. They are the Levities, and I am Mr. Levity, and you are going to be welcomed within seconds, as I told you. I try to tell all the guests, look out, the Levity wave is coming your way. Ella says, hi, Dennis, looking forward to tonight. Marcia says, looking forward to meeting Dennis, which is really fantastic. Marcia says, I'm awfully close to the fire. I know it is a little toasty behind me. We're going to do s'mores later on. Or what'd you say? Schmoozers? What?
Schmoozers.
Schmorzers will do. That's exclusively. You cannot use that word. He's now copywriting that right after the show.
My attorney will call your attorney.
That's it. Just like levity. Welcome, Dennis. Great to have you on the world's best talk show. Wow.
There
oh my
we go.
God. Can I print that out and put it on highway billboards? I would love to do that. And thank you. I appreciate that. Ann in Southern California. Mona is here, and Mona from New Orleans area. She goes, good evening, Jim and all the lovelies. Welcome to a great show. Love your fireplace. The red looks great on you, from Louisiana. Thank you very much, Mona. And great to see you as well, watching on YouTube. And Anne says, happy Monday night. Have you been drinking, Anne?
She's been ahead of her time.
Monday nights was so epic. She's still on Monday. No, I think she's probably looking at the Monday calendar. Let's see. We don't want to skip by that one. Merlin in Canada, in Ontario. Welcome, Dennis, to Levity Hall. You're now a Levity. That did not take long for you to be a Levity. Now, you have 2 Grammys. People can have Grammys and Emmys and Peabodys and Tellys and all.
Oh, yeah, you can get them at Walmart these days.
They're at Walmart. But how does it feel to officially be now a Levity on the Jim Master Show Live?
I'd like to accept this levity on behalf of all the people who helped me be levitied.
Starting with mom and dad.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Were you going to do something on
levity. The spot? All you folks are not so uppity. I don't know.
They're not.
Give me a little time. I'll work on it.
He'll work on it. Yeah, the Levity crowd, they're not uppity.
No, you're very down to earth.
They're very down.
You're my kind of people.
And Kathleen in New York City says, can never have too much levity, which is wonderful. Anne says, welcome, Dennis. Love the name Dennis. Looking forward to a wonderful evening. You've scored points with the name Dennis.
And I had so little to do with it.
That's it. Let's see. Linda Odell is in St. Augustine, Florida. Good evening, Mr. Levity. Good evening, Levities. We thank you very much and welcome Linda to the show, longtime viewer. And Bernadette says, welcome, Dennis, to Levity Hall. We enjoy your work. So very familiar with the work and love your work, which is fantastic. Kathleen in New York says, welcome, Dennis. And Marilyn in Wichita, Kansas, welcome, Dennis, to Levity Hall and our show. Again, lots of levity coming your way. And Christine Clifton, who was also here for our earlier show, loving the fire in the background, enjoy the set, looking more festive, and the red shirt. Thank you very much. Mary Bishop in Florida says, welcome, Dennis.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
And welcome to the show, Dennis, from Kathy Short. And she's never short on her wonderful words or her compliments, that's for sure. And she is in Cleveland. Yeah, and Bernadette says, that was adorable, Dennis. Great open when you started playing. Yeah.
I can only go down from here.
Hello, Jimbo and all Levities, and guest Dennis Scott from Christopher in Ohio, who's also a performer. He's with the New Love Express, which is a great band. And
Christopher, my wife, is from Bellefontaine, Ohio. Have you ever heard of that? It's a little town.
And he's, I believe, Sylvania area, if I recall. And I wonder if that's where, remember the Sylvania TV sets and everything, the Sylvania products, Zenith, Sylvania, Quasar, all the TVs, radios, Sylvania. I wonder if they came from that area.
But it's hard to get parts for them now.
Yes, absolutely. And as time marches on, that happens with humans as well. It's hard to get parts. Sherry Schoenline claps and smiles and loving it. June says, great opening, only the best on our show. And we're loving this. Pamela Perkle says, welcome to the Levity family. Nice guitar too. We'll take a look at that. And Christine in North Carolina says, welcome, Dennis, to the Jim Master Show Live. You now have become a Levity. Cheers. Happy you could join us. Tesla Bella, who's a wonderful actress, comedian, voice artist in Florida. Dennis, happy to have you in Levity Hall. Wow.
Darling, you look marvelous.
She looks marvelous. Absolutely. And Christopher says, I can tell, Dennis, that you have quite a nice voice.
Yes, I paid a fortune for it.
That sounds a little bit like our friend here, Mr. George Burns.
That's right. I was talking to Gracie the other night. But that's
Exactly.
before I was talking to Jack Benny. And then I had to go visit my money. All right.
That's
See,
right.
look what you've started.
Starting it. Start the fire, start the car, right? Start the levity train.
But you didn't start the fire. Somebody else did that.
Yes, I have somebody that comes in that starts the fire, and I told them, "Could you please light my fire?" And they did.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Exactly. Folks, it's going to be that kind of night, so strap in. And what did Tom Snyder used to say? I used to love that line. Something like, sit back and enjoy as the color teenies fly through the air, or something like that. Wow, Dennis is going to make us a levity song. Yes, he's definitely a levity now. Absolutely, absolutely.
I live to be a levity.
You live to be a levity, and and you've reached the pinnacle. Very cool, Dennis. And That's Funny from Tess and George Burns. Dennis is definitely bringing the levity to Levity Hall. Love it. Say that 5 times fast. I'm also from Ohio. Bellefontaine is on the way to see my son in Columbus.
All right, there we go. That's 2 people who know the town.
Fabulous George and Jack imitations.
Well, gee, thank you, Tess. I really appreciate it.
Now, have you mastered the Dennis Scott imitation? What does the Dennis Scott imitation sound like?
I think it sounds more like Rochester. That's right, Mr. Benny. No. I'm still working on me.
How about Mr. Rogers?
Oh, you know what? After Tom Hanks, I'm not sure I want to approach that. But we can do his songs, that's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. He just, a real treasure, And I mentioned, all the years with public television, we generated a lot of funding through hosting and everything for Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street and all the great shows that just were so great. Thanks for being here tonight, Dennis, from Mona. Cheers, H2O. I love the levities. You're going to love it. We do this every night, sometimes twice a day. Coming in from Ireland, you are Dennis for tonight, and I am Mr. Wilson. Screen Queen Army. He's in Comer in Northern Ireland near Belfast. And check out our archives, Chris. We just had Corner Boy on from your neck of the woods there, and they were live from Ireland in our earlier show.
And my family is planning a trip to Ireland, hopefully this summer.
Oh, fantastic. Really?
Yes. We were canceled last summer for obvious reasons, but
yeah, I was supposed to be on a TV shoot in Ireland too, and the same thing had happened. Christine says we are ready for that kind of night. Great opening for sure, and so much more. Great conversation, music, and laughs, and on and on and on.
We've been great audience. Good night. Thank you.
This was terrific. Thanks for joining us, folks. You and you and you, and we'll see you tomorrow. How did you get started in all of this? What early on? Tell us about your background, where you grew up, and some of the inspirations in your life in terms of maybe family members or other mentors, folks who sort of inspired you to follow your dream.
Well, I'm living in Nashville now, but I'm a New York fellow from Long Island, New York, originally in the Queens area, and then moved to Great Neck, Long Island.
I'm from Long Island as well. Yes, and neither one of us sound like we are, which is quite amazing, isn't it?
Long Island, yeah.
Yeah, I don't sound. Although if you get probably very comfortable, and if you have a glass of wine, the hands start moving, you start getting expressive, you start getting comfortable, and maybe a word or two will slip out. I mean, I would probably fail to say that I don't have a cousin or two that say maybe fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, I had a fantastic childhood. In New York, I was living in Queens, and for my dad and was very musical. My mom was not, but he made up for that. And I always told them I want to be on TV, and they would pick me up and put me on top of the television set. I said, no, I want to be inside the TV. So they thought they would placate me and give me some lessons, singing lessons, and that will take care of it. But it wasn't enough for Dennis. So I started going on auditions. And to make a long story short, I was in my first Broadway show when I was 7 years old which was a show called Sail Away, written by Noel Coward, and it starred the great Elaine Stritch in it. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, she liked a good glass of wine too. She loved
Yeah.
several good glasses of wine.
That's what I had heard. Absolutely.
She would invite, there were 7 kids in the chorus, and she would invite us down to her dressing room, and she'd pass out little glasses of champagne. And but boy, this is really tasty, Miss Stritch. So, and that's where my drinking problem started. So
that's where the drinking problem. That's right. You had your name was Dennis Scott, and then there was a third one, but you lost it somewhere in the subway.
Actually, you're not far from the truth. I am a man who lost his middle name, because when I got older, I thought I should change my name from my family name to my professional name of Dennis Scott. And I was Dennis Richard, but when we did the paperwork, somehow it got obliterated. So now I'm a man without a middle name. I'm just Dennis Scott.
It's always that paperwork, isn't it? It's always the paperwork.
And I'm sure that was very interesting.
They love it. They love it. So again, take us then through this process. Here you are on Long Island, and what were some of the doors that continued to open for you as you go along? And Bernadette from Long Island, New York as well. And June says she still has her Queen's accent. I can verify, and you can too, that she sure does. And don't ever lose it. That makes you so unique. June Moon. What were some of those early opportunities for you then, Dennis, along the way?
Well, I, as I said, started with that first show, which was great, and then graduated doing commercials and High C Orange Juice and Kodak camera and all those things. And eventually I got to that awkward age where I was not a cute, adorable little child anymore. My teeth were straightened out by a ruthless orthodontist, so I couldn't get work anymore. So
what age was that when they did that?
Probably 11 or 12 or so.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
I got them on at 16. High school. What?
I had a very progressive dentist. He was ready to try anything. So eventually I got more interested in music. I still loved theater, but and at one point I thought I could be an actor during the day and I could be a veterinarian at night, until I reached the 10th grade and my teacher said, "You don't have the grades for this." And it worked out fine because I couldn't stand the sight of blood either. So, but I've had, I'm lucky. I've had some great experiences. I got to be in the show The Music Man once with Eddie Albert from Green Acres and of course movie fame. And then once with Bert Parks, who you'll remember from the Miss America pageants. And I loved his curtain speech at the end of every show. He'd come out and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, someday I'm going to win that contest." So that's my Music Man experience, but it was fun.
Absolutely.
But gradually, my story is that I eventually started doing some songwriting. I was in a group here. Let's see how many people remember this group. I was in the New Christie Minstrels.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And a lot of I didn't realize that. I love their music. I love their sound. And a lot of their Christmas music is playing right now. And I have all their CDs.
That's true. And Kenny Rogers was in the first group. And all these people, even John Denver opened for them at one point. So I was in that group. And that's about the time I was starting to write songs.
What years were you in with them?
1976. It was a great year to be in a group like that.
Absolutely.
This land is your land. This land is my land. And I was the shortest person in the group. And I actually played an upright bass, which was twice my size. And here's a good show business story for you. I had auditioned for the group when the manager of the group when he came to New York. And nothing ever happened. Then out of nowhere, I got a phone call saying, "Would you like to be in the group? We need a bass player." Well, I played electric bass. I really didn't play an upright bass. So I took 2 lessons. I borrowed the upright bass from my high school. And we literally put the phone, this is before FaceTime or anything. They put the phone on the desk. And I got my upright bass. And I'm playing the bass into the phone, singing a song, and I got the job. And I left New York University where I was starting my graduate work, and just in the middle of everything, I said goodbye and I joined the New Christian Minstrels. And how does this have anything to do with songwriting? Well, while on the road, on the bus, and it was not a luxurious bus like the superstars have, we had flies flying all around the bus, and we spent our time trying to kill them. But I spent a lot of my time working on songs, and I had written a song called Captain Kirk's Disco Trick. And believe it or not, it got recorded, and I think it debuted in Denmark. And kids bought it and used it for hubcaps on their cars. It was very successful. But it was a novelty song. So what do you do with that? I took it to a children's record label, and they said, well, we can't do anything with it either, but we like your writing. Here, try writing some parodies for us, which I did. And that led to an introduction to Sesame Street. And I had never produced an album before, but my mother always said, never say no when they ask you.
That's right.
So I was working there just on this project called Sesame Country. And the idea was to get name artists to do songs with the Muppet characters from Sesame Street. And they just said, well, come into the office and start making calls, which I did. And I assembled Crystal Gale and Loretta Lynn, Glenn Campbell, and Tanya Tucker. And then the president of Sesame Street Records said, all right, well, you got all these people. You want to produce the album? I said, sure I do. And that led me to my introduction to Nashville, which eventually I moved here because it's a great musical town.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, what a progression too. And had you always had an interest in music and material that inspired young minds and children along the way too?
Well, like most songwriters, I thought, well, I could write anything, and quickly learned that you can write everything, but it's not so easy to get those things recorded. And when the Sesame Street album came along, and it ended up winning a Grammy, I thought, you know what, maybe this is where I need to be. And it's actually been a great blessing for me because I get to write these songs, and because of the way the industry works, things that I never would have gotten recorded in a million years, all of a sudden, through the back door, they made it their way into the offices of Ray Charles and other people like that, which was an amazing experience. So yes, I'm very glad to be in the children's music industry, and you know, I'll write a lovely song, a lovely song for you. I have it on your desk by 9:30 tomorrow morning.
It's going to start with a stutter?
That's all, folks. I'm just making it up as I go.
That's it. Or hey,
I never did all those things. I just
join the club. And we're live. And I love that too. I love live because anything can happen and all my cylinders are firing. And, you know, to me, it's like a sport. When I'm live on television, live on radio, live with this show, live on stage, on location, it's hard to replicate that because it's the energy of feeding off an audience and anything can happen. So it really, you know, gets me going. The Sesame Street song, tell us about that. And are you able to play a little bit of it to refresh the levities?
Well, that song you're talking about is a song called Songs, which that's a lot of fun saying that. And it was on actually the first album I ever did that had anything to do with the children's music. It was called Songs That Tickle Your Funny Bone. And being the pushy guy that I am from New York, in addition to the parodies that I wrote, I said, I think it would be great to have one song in there that's original. And if it were mine, that would be even better. So I wrote the song. And then when it came to the Sesame Street album, I thought this would make a great duet for Crystal Gale and Big Bird. And so since then, this song has been very kind to me. It was used in an episode of Fame, and Jimmy Osmond sang it. And it's been Sugarland recorded it on Sesame Street as well. And it gets around. So yeah, I could try to do a little bit of that for you.
Fantastic.
If I can remember what key. See if normally I don't get to sing the song. At least not on this show. All right, let's see. Da 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 La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Songs are around whenever you need them. Songs follow you wherever you lead them. Songs, they seem to come alive each time you sing them. Songs, you can play them straight or you can swing them. Songs, don't know how we get on without them. Songs, you can hum them, whistle or shout them. Songs keep you company when you're alone. Find a song you can call your own. You can't go wrong. All you need is a song. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. All you need is a song. I didn't do the Big Bird part. He sings a counter melody. Hey, you get humming, you start strumming. But I thought, always leave them wanting more. So there you go.
Always, yes, absolutely. And I remember that. And that is really, really catchy. And it's one that sticks in your head. And it's so positive. The songs on those series, Sesame Street and other children's programs, you know, even Mr. Rogers, like I know you've had this wonderful, you know, paying homage to Mr. Rogers, one of the wonderful Fred Rogers, who was extraordinary. And again, through my years with public television, just one of the great inspirational people of our time. And it's amazing if we take a look how people are craving anything that even resembles Mr. Rogers. I think because of the craziness and how fast our society has been moving and how, you know, divisive things have been and everything else, people are craving a simpler time. And when you hear these songs and you hear this material, not only do you sometimes step back into your own childhood, but it sort of lightens your heart, lightens the load. And you can listen to these songs as well as the music that you're hearing now, Christmas music, that puts people in a really good, lighter frame of mind, a reflective frame of mind. And I think that's really important, isn't it? Because music can be very inspiring, but also very healing and very unifying as well for all ages and especially children.
That's true. And Mr. Rogers, I think sometimes is underrated as a composer and a writer. He knew the craft of songwriting, and he did it in a style that was so much like him, that projected his teaching, and he's left a great musical legacy, which I'm part of a campaign to make sure that legacy stays with us. In fact, if you go to our website, thankyouMrRogers.com, you can sign up and help with a petition we have to get him nominated to the Songwriters Hall of Fame. So, I'm just honored to be part of, you know, the people that are trying to keep his music going. And this new album, glad you asked.
There's an album.
It's an album. It's called Thank You, Mr. Rogers, Music and Memories. And it's got all his great songs, but we got different celebrity artists to perform them. People like, Vanessa Williams and Sandy Patty, like you mentioned earlier. And some of you may remember the Cowsills, who are great folks to work with. And Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, and Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis. And the list goes on and on. And if you hear the songs, you'll be surprised. You'll say, is this a Mr. Rogers song? And yes, he just wrote great things. When you hear him doing it, of course, he does it in his Mr. Rogers style. But
yeah,
they have the mark of a good song is one that you can do in lots of different styles with anybody singing it. And that's what you hear on that album.
Well, guess what?
What?
Look what we have. Look what we have.
Oh, we have something?
Yes.
Well, I hope you have it, because
Do you want mayonnaise or mustard on yours? We have a clip which is previewing all those great artists and the Mr. Rogers, the Celebrate the Holidays, the CD and more. And
fantastic.
yeah, it's really cool. It's quick, folks. So watch it. You'll enjoy, and you'll see the bevy of incredible people who've been a part of this. Tribute, of course, to Mr. Rogers and, of course, the holidays and all. And then we're going to be back with Dennis Scott. We are just warming up. Here we go.
Come celebrate the holidays with Mr. Rogers and his friends.
It's a beautiful day.
Give the gift of this one-of-a-kind tribute album. Thank You, Mr. Rogers, Music and Memories. Available where all music is sold.
Now, who's singing that part? Even that promo piece. I love harmony. I love choral groups. I've always loved that. Who's singing that?
That is the Cowsills with their unmistakable sound and their layered voices, and they're just such nice people to work with. But everybody on this album, I mean, how can you be on a Mr. Rogers album and not be a nice person?
Yeah, we've had these conversations on the show before. I love sounds like that, harmonious sound. I'm a Libra, so it's balance and harmony for me. I love harmonious. I love that choral, that full sound. I love instrumental too. I love full sweeping instrumental sounds, but I also love those choral harmonious sounds. And that was really, really fantastic. And of course, the Cowsills are amazing. Do you remember the Ron Hicklin Singers?
Not sure.
The Ron Hicklin Singers were used for really the background singers they were session singers. I believe they were in Dallas, and they were hired to sing just about everything you can think of in the 70s and maybe the 80s. They were the background singers for the Monkees, the background singers for the Partridge Family. They sang the theme to Love American Style. Tons of commercials and jingles for television stations, radio stations, and so much more. And they had that sort of Cowsills and just that warm, harmonious, friendly, non-threatening sound. And they were hired a lot for all kinds of different jingles and advertising and so much more, because that was the sound that people, were looking for. And they would be background singers that would also sing on probably the backgrounds of major stars' albums as well. And that's fantastic, when you get those sounds, and there's just something pleasant about that sound, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I'm a harmony lover. I mean, if there's a missing note in harmony, I gravitate towards that immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the album, I mean, it has harmonies throughout it, but it's all different styles. I mean, you'll hear, well, for example, Lee Greenwood's song, you can put that on and you would never in a million years think it's a Mr. Rogers song. We got a whole string of orchestras on it and all that kind of production. And Rita Wilson, who is married to Tom Hanks, her song is gorgeous. And of course, my Mickey Dolenz story is that, I love the Beatles, but I also love the Monkees growing up. And when it came time to leave to go to record the session, I got in my car to go to the airport. I turned on the radio, and what was playing but Last Train to Clarksville? And I said, this is meant to be. And then just being beside him, learning, watching him work and working with him. I mean, doesn't get better than that.
Not at all. Not at all. A matter of fact, I believe we do have a clip here, and this was the one you were talking about earlier. I think, is it Wanna Beatle you were saying?
Oh, my group, the Wanna Beatles, yes.
Yes. You want to intro this for us, and we'll show this to the audience.
Okay, is this the one I'm thinking of?
The one you sent about an hour ago, yeah.
Okay. Well, we were talking about, what music I can bring along for today's show. And this is one that I wrote. The Wanna Beatles, my group, we were booked to do a 50th anniversary in Virginia Beach, and they wanted something to help celebrate that. So I came up, and it was the anniversary was 50 years from 1963. So I wrote a song called In 63, and it's kind of nostalgic, and I think your fans in particular will like it.
All right, here it is, folks.
Sung by the Wanna Beatles.
Sung by the Wanna Beatles. My very special guest, Dennis Scott, is here, and enjoy, and we'll be back and we'll chat some more, and he's got some more music for us and so much more. Here we go.
In 63, in 63, the times they were a-changing in ways we couldn't even explain. In 63, the world had lost a leader and we could only live through the pain. Only 35 cents for a gallon of gas. The cars we drove were really built to last. A simpler time and kind of place to be. In 63. In 63. In 63, we sat and laughed at Missy and Lassie, really captured our heart. In 63, we played out in the sunshine and stayed outside until it was dark. We put a man in a can and launched him out into space, while the world still moved at a slower pace. And freedom never, ever felt so free. In 63, my little town of Virginia Beach was changing day by day. My little town of Virginia Beach, we were really on our way. We were coming into our own. Now look and see how we've grown in 63. In 63. In 63, a different kind of rhythm was playing on the radio waves. In 63, we were cheering Mickey Mantle and feeling proud of Willie Mays. Go, 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 girls like Frankie, the guys love the net. We had our first kiss in my daddy's Corvette. Do you remember how it used to be? In 63. In 63. In Virginia Beach. In 63. You and me, feeling free. In 1963.
That is really, I mean, anything you and I do after that is boring. Now, tell us about that again. That is, I mean, that's a spectacular song. I mean, you just feel really, really good. And who's singing that?
Well, that's me singing.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Nothing like a studio production to make it sound good.
And they didn't have auto-tune back in 63.
No, they sure didn't.
No, you got a great voice.
You're very kind. Yeah. No, it was a fun song to write. And I remember the Wanna Beatles were on tour. We were in the car going from one place to another. And we knew we had this assignment coming up. And I just started working the back seat. And the guys would throw some ideas at me. And by the time we reached our destination, we had at least the outline of a song. And then we worked on it. And it turned out to be a fun thing to do.
Now, where can people find that? Can they find that anywhere?
Well, you go down Sunset Boulevard, make a left.
Make a left.
No, actually, it's on the Wanna Beatles website, which is thewannabeatles.com. And you have to have the in the Wanna Beatles. Otherwise, it sends you to a website in Norway. And it's a different experience there.
It could be a totally.
And I invite people to come visit our website because I tell people, even though I love doing all the recording and writing that I do, playing Beatles music with these guys is just, it's the best job I ever had. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was absolutely awesome. And it was the comments, I'm just looking at them here. They were really the best of times. I got married in 63, wonderful year. That's Merlin. What a gift you have for performing and songwriting as well. June says, I really miss those times. What a great song. Oh, the memories. So love this. My Dennis was born in 63. Was 63 selected for any particular reason? Is there any tie to 63?
Well, the Beatles were just coming on the scene. I mean, they'd been playing for years prior to that,
Right.
but they'd just had their first hit, which I think was From Me to You, and they were just poised to come to America. It was about to explode, and of course, it was the anniversary of that the Virginia Beach. So 63 had a perfect Beatles tie-in for them.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So take us through again the progression of the career and some of the extraordinary projects you've had an opportunity to work on, Dennis, that really stand out for you. Other than the great ones you've already listed, my God.
I was going to say it's kind of hard to top doing something with Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
But I did have a Mr. Rogers album prior to the new one. It was called Songs from the Neighborhood, music of the music of Mr. Rogers. I have to remember it. And again, got to work with great artists like Amy Grant and John Pizzarelli and Roberta Flack and Donna Summer. She came to my studio, the studio that I'm in now. She walked through those doors and she said, "Where's my check?" And I said, "It's in the mail."
It's in the mail.
No, all these people, I mean, just so great to work with these people who have legendary voices, and you recognize them the moment you hear them. And they put their stamp on Mr. Rogers songs as well. And I encourage them, our new friends here, my new friends, to check it out. But this is the one that's new. Look, while during that song was playing, I brought this along with me, so you can see what it looks like. That's Fred at the piano, and all these great artists doing his songs. So I wouldn't hawk anything, but I believe in this album, and I believe in Fred Rogers' music, and people will love it. I'm sure they will. You know what? You just hawked something. Uh-oh. In that case, it makes a great stocking stuffer. Stocking stuffer. Order now quickly. It's a beautiful, very touching CD. As far as the contact with Fred Rogers, what was that for you as far as meeting him and working and/or knowing? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. So there is a little story behind that. The way that first encounter with Mr. Rogers started, I was actually in my kitchen watching TV, and his show came on, and it was him singing a beautiful song called "It's You I Like." And I wondered, has anybody else ever recorded that? And it turns out nobody had. So that was the inspiration to go out and collect all these artists. It took a year to put together, and we did it without the normal support from record labels and things. And it won a Grammy, which of course I'm very proud of. And after the album came out, I spoke to Mrs. Rogers, Fred's widow, because Fred had already passed by that time. And she said to me, "I love it, and Fred would have loved it." And I thought, I don't even need a Grammy. That's good enough for me. And since then, I've stayed in touch with her and the folks at Mr. Rogers, and I'm just glad to be associated with them. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, he's missed. And why do you think people, I was mentioning it earlier, but why do you think people are craving somebody like a Fred Rogers to be back again? He was sort of like a grounding force. He was just this wonderful, reassuring, non-judgmental force, which is something that we need more of these days. I think you hit the nail on the head. Mr. Rogers, his his most important lesson to us was very simple: be kind.
Yeah.
And imagine a world where we were all kind to each other, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. In fact, I put together a little video. I don't think we have it, but I got an Abe Lincoln character, or an actor who plays Abe Lincoln, to come on a set we created that looks like the Mr. Rogers set and do an endorsement for Mr. Rogers for President. And I think you can actually see the video of that if you go Mr. Rogers for President. It may show up somewhere, so check it. It's a lot of fun. But he just reiterated the things that we all love about Mr. Rogers, that he cared about us and he accepted us as we are, who we are.
Yeah.
And he just wanted us to treat each other kindly.
Absolutely. And we talk about that often on this show. And that's always been, I like being involved in work and projects professionally in my work. And even one of the reasons that spurred me on after many years of people pleading with me to do a series like this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, where we're sort of bringing back the lost art of conversation, is to inspire people and to lift them up, because you're also lifting yourself up as you're lifting them up. And it's one wonderful community that gets created because we all need each other. We're here and we all have something to contribute. We all have something to give. And, we're living in a time where there's a lot of judgmental nature and divisiveness, and I'm only going to listen to that viewpoint and that viewpoint. And I've never been like that. I'm always in the middle of everything. I'm always the one who listens to this one over here, listens to that one over there, and usually extremes, and says, all right, okay. Let's come to the table and have some cheesecake and a hot chocolate. And let's
You're
see
the peacemaker.
The peacemaker, the Libra, balance, harmony. Let's okay, enough. Come together and but you do that too. You do that through your music. There's no way that you could create this material without being a very soulful, mindful person of the human condition, of emotion, of empathy, of compassion, and operating from a heart-centric place to be able to create music like some of just the clips we've just heard now, as well as music that touches children. That's a whole other way of producing music to touch children. And so that's coming from, right in there for you, I am sure, wouldn't you say?
Could I hire you to be my therapist?
Many people have, and
many
of the guests on our show have said that. And I say, no copay, don't worry about it. Just come back as a guest.
No,
I hear that often. Yeah, it's, I'm like, yeah, well, I understand what you're talking about. I totally, well, people have said I'm a high level empath. I am intuitive and I operate from a higher consciousness, all of this. So they're probably right. And I think you are the same in order to be able to capture what you capture in a way that gets people to emote certain feelings and certain positivity that oftentimes isn't always positivity, and goodness and kindness and friendliness isn't always celebrated. Especially lately, the less friendly and kind you are seems to be what we see is celebrated these days, for years and years. So when you are kind and you're thinking about, inspiring people and bringing people together, it's not Pollyanna to be that way. I've always said that the people who are the looking for the goodness in life, the people who are the kind ones, the people who are the friendly, thank you, please, may I help you? A lot of people think that those people are the weak, the vulnerable and the weak, because they're so friendly and they're so kind and they're so nice. They are some of the strongest people, because it takes resilience sometimes to be that way against all odds. When everybody else, when all these ships are sailing the other way, the negativity way, and here you are coming out of the woodwork with positive music and positive messages, and the work that I do too leans positive. And sometimes that's an uphill battle, or you feel like you're sailing in an opposite direction of the mass. But then you realize there's other people out there like you, kindred spirits, similar mindsets, who are trudging along and who are paddling the other way, but paddling in a way that inspires people in a long-lasting, impactful way. And that's what you're doing. And this body of work says that. It's a stamp. Mr. Rogers did it. So many people did it. I think the people who are friendly and kind and the goodness crowd, levity crowd, are really the strongest of people, because they also take on the cares and the worries of the world and the cares and the worries of everybody else. They're out there trying to make it smoother, make it easier, make it kinder, make it softer, because they care, like you do through your music as well.
Yeah, sure.
So I think, it speaks volumes to where your music comes from in here and the understanding of the human condition. And you certainly get that. And I'll tell you, if you tell me to repeat what I just said, it's not happening, because it came from the heart and it was live.
No, it was beautiful. I think for me too, it was growing up and having the heroes that I had, which were people like Danny Kaye and Shari Lewis. I mean, and if you speak to my wife, she'll say, I never really grew up myself. So, but
do you know, you look like a very, very young Burgess Meredith a little bit. Yeah.
The Penguin? I'm not sure.
What?
I'm not sure I wanted that.
Yeah. No.
No,
Twilight Zone.
No, Danny Kaye was my hero. He could do anything musically, and he was such an upbeat. He loved children and things that he did for children.
Yes.
I think that stays within you, and it comes out in my approach to music. And I don't write anything that your mother wouldn't want to hear. So,
and she's watching in Florida right now. Yeah. So
really, you better be good.
You better be good. You better be good.
I'm watching.
Mrs. Masters is going to say, this show has lifted my spirits tremendously these past few weeks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm a high-level empath as well. This show has great vibes. Do you play rock and roll? Cutting to the chase.
Of course. Merci.
Cassandra, who's going to be a guest coming up soon. She was a guest already. She's Lady Bane. She's a fantastic R&B sensation. She's coming on to do a Christmas show with us very, very soon, about a week or so. Looking forward to that. She says amen to everything that we're talking about here. Your childhood, was your childhood a loving childhood? Do you sort of relive your childhood through some of this work?
You know, I was on unemployment when I was 11 years old. Because in those days you could collect in those days, and I was in a show and the show folded. So
I thought you were going to tell me that you had a lemonade stand on the corner in Great Neck and you didn't get any customers.
Probably did that too. No, what was the question? No, I had a great childhood. I think my dad was a frustrated performer. He would sit down at the piano and play things, and he would sing things. And my mother was actually a thespian actress in high school, but she became a mom. And they never really pushed me in those directions, but it all kind of percolated and came together that way. So here I am. I am what I am.
They do think you look like a young Burgess Meredith, but in a very positive way.
Okay, you know what I usually get? I usually get Paul Simon.
Yes, I could see that too.
Occasionally Martin Short.
Yeah, I see that too.
So in the Wannabes, we do a parody. Hello, darkness, my old chum. I've come to talk 'cause I feel glum. Because I'm moody and depressing, and my songs are so obsessing. I have visions in my melancholy brain, mental strain within the sounds of nonsense. You'll have to come see our show to hear the whole thing.
I was just about to say, that's so good. I want to hear the rest, but yeah.
It gets better.
I thought it was terrific. What were you doing And
The
what was
rest of your life.
the rest of your life? This is your life. What was happening for you at the time you found out that the world was going to pause back in March? What were things that were supposed to be happening for you in 2020? Things you had planned, things that maybe had to be pushed aside or pushed back. A lot of the guests have been talking about that 2020 was going to be this. They've worked all their lives for 2020 to be this epic year, and all these things were booked and ready to go, and all of these things, and then whoosh, everything sort of came to a grinding halt. How about for you?
Well, like a lot of guys in the music business, the live music business kind of went that way. And we couldn't do live concerts. I think since March, the Wanna Beatles had played a couple of them, but they were outside, so we felt safe. But now we really can't do anything. We're waiting for all this to blow over. And a lot of look, Paul McCartney, he just put together a whole album while he was quarantined. So I'm doing the same things. I'm going through music and revitalizing. And of course, this came out around the same time as the album. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. And
no hawking allowed.
No hawking.
Selling, yes, but not hawking.
No. But it made it a bit of a challenge to get the word out about it. So I'm committed to letting people know about the album. That takes up an awful lot of my time too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the show has taken a lot of time as well, now that I think about it. We've been on for 3 hours already.
It's been at least that.
No, but it feels just like moments.
Just like moments. Fleeting as well. Tell us about, what is the comedic element come in for you? I attribute mine to the Irish side of me, but where does yours come? And my father from New York and just that whole Irish New York thing. But how about you? Where does this comedic timing come in? You know, where were you gifted that from?
It started as soon as I could walk, I think. I was doing things that I was already singing for people. People would come to the house and I'd be singing, and my parents would take us to Long Beach, and they had a jukebox at the food station, and my mom would put in music and I would be singing along to the music. And the comedy comes from watching too many cartoons growing up.
Which ones?
Well, the usual
Miguel and Gorilla,
Bugs Bunny, and Mr. Magoo, and
Jetsons,
of course, Flintstones, and the usual suspects. And my life was just full of comedy. My dad was hysterical. He was a funny guy. And that stayed with me throughout high school. I was always the class clown, or the fun guy who raised his hand, made some inappropriate, funny remark, and I'm lucky to have gotten through high school.
What was it like? Speaking of that, you say lucky you've gotten through high school, but you also have 2 Grammys. Now that doesn't just come, quickly or easily. And I know you said you can buy them at Walmart, but the ones that you have are the real deal. What was it like for you, Dennis, when you won the very first Grammy? That must have been extraordinary. And were your parents here to see that and witness that?
They were. We all went out to California, and around that time, I was a club dating musician. I would play at people's weddings and bar mitzvahs and circumcisions. I know, not those, but a lot of that was my life. I was.
I would imagine at those events the tickets were half off, huh?
Well, and those I only worked for tips. But seriously, what is this show rated? Should we? You should have told me that before we started.
I think that's to be determined.
Yeah, well, no longer do you have a G rating.
For some reason, the viewership's increasing. It's rising.
That's a good thing. No pun intended. But seriously, folks.
Two Long Islanders together. Get ready. Put a pot of coffee on, folks.
So, my parents, like any parents, so what are you still doing that music thing? What are you doing with your life? They were always supportive, but I think they were concerned about me. So when we went out to accept the Grammy Award for the Sesame Street album, I think that was a turning point. All of a sudden they're in this big auditorium and there's a red carpet, and we walk the red carpet and there's their son going up and accepting this Grammy. They said, okay, So this is what he does. Of course, my story is that I thought, oh, I've got a Grammy now. I'll just sit home and the phone will ring, and I said, okay, well, I'll be. Doesn't work that way. I had the next morning. I had to take out the trash. I mean, that ain't right. but it just means you have to still have to work at it, and that's part of the challenge. It's I find that doors didn't necessarily open for me. I had to kind of knock them down a little bit.
But it's quite an honor, and you got a second one too, which again is not something that everybody gets. What was it like when you got the second Grammy? I mean, that was just, that's just like the icing on the cake.
Well, the second Grammy, by that time I was married, and I had my wife and my son, who was I think 5 years old, were there. It was for that first Mr. Rogers album, Songs from the Neighborhood, and it was actually even better because I understood how things worked a little bit, and I wasn't as nervous as I could have been.
Yeah. And
I knew what to expect. I knew that if I won, there would be interviews and things that happened after that. So I guess I'm not putting this the way I want to. I'm trying to say I enjoyed the ride a little bit more. I wasn't as uptight about things.
Yes, right.
And still grateful that my wife and kid and my parents were still around to see that happen.
It's almost similar to when one is a parent. Usually the firstborn, they're always nervous about, and don't do that and don't eat that. And then when the second one comes, a little more relaxed,
That's
maybe
right.
because they know it and they've experienced it and sort of know what to expect, but still it's a beautiful thing. And so, I mean, that's kudos to you. I mean, obviously recognized for extraordinary talent and extraordinary work. What are some of the other things that stand out for you within your career that people may or may not be familiar with as well?
Well, you mentioned, since we're talking Grammys, there's a Grammy that I did not win, but was nominated for. And it was actually along with my Beatles band, the Wanna Beatles. And we had written this song. Well, we were going out there. We had written a song called We Want to Meet Paul because we knew Paul McCartney was going to be there. So we thought, wow, this is a chance to meet him. Well, our album that we had produced did not win. We lost in the spoken word category to none other than Betty White. And so what do you do when you lose to Betty White? You write a song. So we wrote the Betty White song. So a lot of people may not know that unless you happen to be a Wanna Beatles fan, but there is a video on our website for the Betty White song, parentheses, Oh Betty.
Do you have I was going to say a little of that maybe?
I could maybe do a little, normally I sing this with the lads in the band, but I'll see if I can give you a pared down version of it. What key do I do this in? Oh Betty, you are a one of a kind, oh Betty. You are on everyone's mind, oh Betty. You are a star burning bright. That's why I like Betty White. Oh Betty, with your golden girl face, oh Betty. Your name's all over the place, oh Betty. Your bark is worse than your bite. That's why I like Betty White. Betty Mania is all the rage. She's more fun than people half her age. I wouldn't even be surprised if Betty won the Nobel Prize. Oh Betty, you're so incredibly hot. Oh Betty, I see us tying the knot. Oh Betty, just you and me and the night. That's why I like Betty White. That's why we like Betty White. Oh, for Betty, we're ready for Betty. That's why I love Betty White. Yeah.
Now, has Betty heard that?
Betty has heard that, and she sent me an autographed picture. Which
when was that? When was that written?
Around 2012, I think. She was. I didn't sing all the lyrics, but the last verse is Oh, Betty, you're on the verge to ignite. At 9, and when I wrote it was at 90, you still excite. And now it's like 96, you still excite.
Updating it each year.
Yeah, it gets better all the time. And of course, Betty never even came to pick up her Grammy that night. What's with that? I mean, I should have picked it up for her.
Yeah. I want to hear the song you wrote about Joan Crawford.
Let's see. Hangers. Must be wooden hangers.
No wire hangers.
No wire hangers. That's right.
That is funny. Great comments coming in from our levity viewers around the world. What an imagination you have, Dennis, to create these songs. Linda Odell, so adorable. Your song about Betty White. She's such an amazing actress. Betty White, of course, a national treasure. Claps, claps, claps from Kathleen Walker in New York. From South America and Brazil, freaking catchy song from Carla. Christopher Joseph says, love the Betty White tune. You look like Lou Diamond Phillip.
Do I?
I guess so.
I guess I do.
I guess so. Although he's been having Wi-Fi problems in Ohio there, Christopher. Hysterical, according to June. Claps from Bernadette. That's cute from Merlin in Canada. Congratulations on the Grammys as well. And cool stuff. Do you have another song you wanted to share? Now, there's a couple of songs. There's the one involving Ray Charles that's near and dear to your heart that I know is a true blessing. And tell us about that one. And
sure. I love telling the story because I mentioned earlier that as a songwriter, you write a lot of different things and you hope you can get it to Barry Manilow or Barbra Streisand. And it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So in this case, I was already in the children's music industry, and I worked on a project, and we had kids coming on to audition. They had to learn the song that I co-wrote with a gentleman named Jeffrey Zahn, and it was a song called "Always a Friend." Well, this kid went off. The show didn't go forward, but he went out to California and got a guest spot on the show "Who's the Boss?"
Oh, yeah.
And in the process, apparently, he had a crush on Alyssa Milano, or she had a crush on him. And he made a little demo of the song in his room and gave it to her. And she was all excited. And she gave it to the producers of the show and said, oh, well, this is a nice song. Hey, we got Ray Charles coming on in a few months. Let's play this for him. So long story short, Ray Charles sang that song on Who's the Boss? And I went out to the taping and I said, Mr. Charles, I'm so honored that you would be singing the song that I wrote. And I said, would you please sign your autograph on this lyric sheet for me? And said, I don't sign autographs. You don't read Braille and I don't sign autographs. I said, okay. But after he taped the episode and sang the song, he was great. He said, hey, where's that kid? Hey, yeah, can I sing the song? Can I record this song? And I said, oh, yes, you can, Mr. Charles. Unfortunately, he passed away before he could do that. So that's a bittersweet story, isn't it?
That is, yes.
But the beautiful thing about it, when that show aired, this was a new thing to experience because I got 1,000 letters from people saying, I love the song and I want it sung at my wedding, or I had a friend who passed away. I would like it to be sung at the funeral. I mean, it's one of the songs that are multi-purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I hold on to those letters because I think to myself, I guess this is what it's all about, really, touching people and writing something that means something in their lives.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful word, yeah.
So tell us about this again, as far as this opportunity here. Again, this song I know is near and dear to your heart, isn't it?
It is. Knowing I was coming on the show, I don't normally get a chance to sing the song. And like a lot of writers, you write them and you put them out to the world and other people sing them. So you don't you're not on stage every night doing it. So I apologize if this is a little rough, but I think some of you may have watched the show back in the 80s, Who's the Boss? You'll remember this, and of course, you'll always remember Ray Charles. I don't sound. I can do a Satchmo, but I can't do Ray Charles.
Can you do Tony Danza?
I could, but why? No, just kidding. Tony's a great guy. So I'll sing a little bit of it for you.
Okay.
See if some of you remember it. You are always a friend, someone I can talk to. It's always a friend, someone I can always turn to time and again. When it seems as if my whole world is caving in. You are always a friend, someone I believe in. Always a friend, someone I've been needing so since I don't know when. You're a shoulder I can lean on every now and then. You're always a friend. We've been friends from the beginning. I love the way you always look at me. Hey, look at me, I'm winning. Now my only wish is that someday I will be always a friend, someone who will always love you. Always a friend, someone who'll be standing by you right to the end. And it's you and me together, just the two of us forever. I see in you the love I hope you see in me. Please let me be always a friend. Always a friend. Always a friend.
And I have my friend right here. There's Jimmy loves it. You've won over Jimmy and his blue shoes and everything. Don't step on my blue suede shoes.
No. Oh man.
I tell you, huh?
So
yeah.
Anyway, so that's a song that did well on with Ray Charles, and too bad he didn't get to sing it. But people now will hear this song on your show, and
they are. Look at the response.
The phone is ringing.
Yeah, the claps. Tesla Bella, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Always a friend. Bravo from Bernadette. Very nice from Marcia. Dennis, you are so creative. Please don't stop from Nan Milligan, who was with us earlier today. Another loyal levity. Oh my God, Dennis, you're so gifted. I remember it. And Wozniak, hearts, and claps. Merlin in Canada, claps, hearts, a guitar. Really cool stuff. You have this positive nature, which I think is wonderful. And your family must love that. I mean, you must be this positive, energetic force. What keeps you positive? How are you inspired? Not every day, and I say this on our show all the time, not every day is perfect. You don't always feel 100% every day. Things can get you down. There's losses. There's things that happen in life. How does Dennis Scott stay so inspiring and positive? What do you do? What do you call upon?
Well, I don't know what Dennis Scott does, but I'll tell you what I do.
You're Dennis Richard.
Boy, what a memory you have.
Yes.
You know what? It really is the fact that I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to have had the family that I had, to have had the experiences that I've had as a 7-year-old, to be on Broadway and meet these people, and working with Sammy Davis Jr., all these other folks that in a million years, how could that have happened? And then moving on to music and having my songs heard, and having being able to make a living in the music business, doing what I love to do. I mean, every day is a gift. Every day is a blessing, and I couldn't be happier. And also to have the family that I have, my wonderful wife and my child, who wants nothing to do with music, and that's probably a good thing. So I'm very fortunate, and I think that's what keeps me positive.
I did you ever write anything for your child, a lullaby or anything? I could see you doing that just with the understanding of the human condition. I mean, you were so perfect for things like that.
I did. I wrote the song. Stay out of the music business. That's the one thing you don't want to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Be an accountant instead.
No, be an accountant. Yes, actually, when he was born, I would hover over his crib and I'd whisper in his ear, "Doctor, lawyer." But anyway, well, I think I did write a song. It was before he was born. I wrote it for Crystal Gale because we worked together on the Sesame Street album, and we stayed friends all that time. And she said she was looking for a song that she could do and have a pretty moment in her show where she could maybe bring a child on stage. And little did I know I was probably writing the song for my own son.
Yeah.
At the time. I wasn't planning on doing it. I could try to do it if you like.
Absolutely. We would love it. June asks, what does your son do? How old is your son now?
He's in front of the video monitor right now.
He's running your camera for you?
No. He's playing games on the video. That's what
really?
he does best.
Oh, okay.
No, he's in his third year in college, and he's doing great.
What's he studying?
We don't know. He won't tell us.
Oh, very.
He's actually he's finding out what he wants to do. It was psychology for a while.
Yeah,
which would have saved my wife and I a ton. But no, he's trying different things at the moment. He's going to Tennessee Tech in Nashville. It's an hour and a half away from where we live.
Is he leaning towards anything? Are there certain things that just come naturally for him?
He's good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he is a great people person. He's like you. He's a peacemaker. So, and he's got a big heart. And so he's looking at sociology and philosophy and psychology, and who knows where he'll end up, wherever it is. Like my father used to say, I don't care if you're digging ditches, as long as you're happy.
What did your father do?
He was my grandparents were immigrants, and they were in the stove business. And later on, when my father joined the business, he brought furniture into the business. So it became Jamaica Furniture.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
In Queens,
yeah,
Jamaica Avenue. And so he was very creative, and he was a decorator as well. So maybe that's where I get some of that from.
We have family that worked with in management with S. Klein's department store. Remember Klein's?
Sure.
Klein's on the square.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Good
Where did
stuff.
you go to school? Were you go to school in Queens?
No, I grew up on Long Island, but further out east. I went to LIU. That's where I went.
Okay.
Which actually isn't far from Great Neck, Brookville. Yeah. Beautiful campus there. And studied this industry, actually, and have stayed in it since. I was president of the debate team in college, and worked for the television station, the radio station, writing and producing, and studied all of it. And then first job, internship was at Cablevision in Woodbury, New York, when they were launching News 12. They were launching News 12, they were launching Bravo, and they were launching AMC Network. And then first professional television job was with WLIG TV on Long Island, which is now, I think, owned by CBS, New York 10 and 55. And then public television. There was a period right out of school where I was working for commercial television in the daytime. Then I was doing freelance work for public television, WLIW 21 in New York. And then I was doing part-time radio at night, all at the same time. And now when I look these years later at all my work in television and radio, and that it's 8:30 at night on a Saturday and I'm here, that world has not changed. of doing 15 things at once. And, I love every second of it. I just love it like you do. You're creative, you're thinking, you're inspired. You like to feed off the energy of other people and then give it back tenfold. And that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, when you hear how your music, how your material has touched the lives of generations of people, I mean, from children all the way up, it's quite extraordinary. It's tough to script that. It's tough to find that in other, areas of life sometimes, right? Because the work that your work will surpass even you. This material is always going to be here for people to access.
It's interesting because in one way it makes you feel old, but another way, when I get a card or a note from people can find you now with the internet. So
sure.
People who grew up with things that I've done or projects, because I did all sorts of little read-along cassettes and things like that, and people will find me and they'll write and say, "I love this. Can I get it?" And I'll tell them, "Well, you can't get it anywhere, but I have it in my collection. I'll send it to you," because I'm just so grateful that they found me and they remember it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Do you have something else you want to share with us?
Well, I could try to sing a little bit of that song I was telling you about. A song that I wrote for Crystal Gale, and that as a parent, every parent I think feels this way. Crystal didn't end up recording it, but it was recorded by Faith Hill and Kathy Lee Gifford.
That's
right. She
right.
did it on I think it was a PBS special, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't really get a chance to sing it, so let me see what I can do with it.
Well, I'm glad that we're giving you these opportunities to sing these songs you don't get a chance to sing.
It's a whole new career for me. Most of the time, if I sing, I'm singing Beatles songs. But
well, just so you know that this show is really not the Jim Masters Show Live. This is the new version of Star Search, and I'm Ed McMahon. And if you pass the test, we may give you a gig.
And if that doesn't work, just the what is the check he gives out? The Reader's Digest check, or
Publishers Clearing.
Publish Clear. Thank you. That'll work. So anyway, let's see what we can do. This is called Before You Grow. How do you like the world so far? Where did you get that smile? I know that you've got a lot to do, but won't you stay with me a while? Time is on your side, so why don't you go slow? 'Cause I'd like to get to know you before you grow. Would you believe I was once your age, not so long ago? Funny how gray hairs start to show, at least that's what I'm told. I look at you and wonder where does the time go? And I'd like to get to know you before you grow. Would you believe in magic? Would you believe that dreams come true? Would you believe in fairy tales? Would you believe that I do too? These are the best times of your life I'd like to share with you. I know that we could be best of friends. Don't you think so too? So let me tell you one more time before you have to go. I'd like to get to know you before you grow. Yes, I'd like to get to know you before you grow.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, wasn't that nominated for a Dove Award?
No, not that one. But by the way, I do want to mention that song was written by myself and my great late friend Timmy Tappan. So
It's
he
beautiful.
was another great songwriter. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. But thank you. And thanks. I see Bernadette is saying something and Marcia's saying something.
And totally unrelated, they like the pullover that you're wearing.
Oh, this old thing?
That's an old-fashioned word, pullover. I like that. I remember this one as well. They're asking, do you have a puppy nearby? They love pets.
Oh, Patches. We have a dog named Patches.
Patches.
And he's upstairs because we didn't want him to make too much noise.
This may bring back a little bit, but there was a character that I think that's what he was, either Patches or Mr. Patches. And he was on the children's show. It wasn't animated, though they did have some animations within it. I believe the character I remember the hair was orange and very fuzzy. And I forget the woman who was the host, but she would always talk to Patches. And it was on, I don't know if it was national. I believe it might have been local to the New York area, but it was on Saturday mornings, early in the morning. And it was on WCBS Channel 2. And it was called Patchwork Family. And there was do you remember vaguely? There was, and there was this female host, and it was designed just for kids. And there was this puppet, I'm sure June probably, she remembers everything. It was a series called Patchwork Family. It was for kids. It was Saturday mornings on Channel 2 in New York. Might have aired in other markets. And there was this crazy character called Patches. And it makes me think of that when you say Patches.
Oh, look, wait a minute. Somebody's come to visit.
Oh my God.
Let me hold on. I'm going to put the guitar down.
I have to tell you, they love children when they come into the room.
Patches, come here.
They love when pets come in the room. And if you talk about food, you've got them. Oh boy. Tell us about Patches.
Oh, Patches. What can we say about Patches?
Does Patches have a song too?
No, not yet. But Patches, my previous dog was a Shih Tzu, and Patches is a Mulchie, half Shih Tzu, half Mulchie. And
I thought we said no cursing on this show.
Oh, but Patches is the studio manager here. You know, he greets the singers when they come in and the musicians, and they all love him. So, oh look, people are showing their doggy pictures. So Patches, say hello. This is your big chance. It's a big break. Don't flick me. Okay. Well, I'm going to put him down.
You know what's going to happen. You're now number two. You're now, and I mean it in a positive sense.
Thank you.
Whenever a child, we had is it Donna Vivino, Broadway star. She was on, and her 8-year-old son was in another room, and he was playing the drums, and I think her husband was, keeping him at bay a little bit, and then he sort of, during our conversation, he burst through the room and ran up to her and was like pulling on the cord like this, the cord of her headphones, and almost ripped one of the headphones off, and then and she was laughing. It was a very funny moment. It's in the archives on our series on YouTube. And she's okay. And, I'll be finished in a minute. And he wanted to, I guess they're going to do a Zoom thing or something for his aunt in Florida. And he had all these chairs set. He's like 8 years old. He had all these chairs set up in the other room. And it was like he had a studio audience of her and her husband. And he was going to play drums over Zoom for the aunt in Florida. And he wanted her there. And again, he almost ripped the headphones off. And soon as they saw her son, forget it, she became number two. Whenever dogs, cats, birds fly into the room, land on your lap, the guest is secondary to the pet. And I could see it. Look at this. I think there's more comments now for Patches than for you. See what happens? Patches is very cute. Patches is a levity too. We love Patches. Oh, so cute. Patches is so sweet.
Oh,
you might not want to bring Patches out again.
Well, you remember what W.C. Fields used to say? Never go on stage with babies and dogs, or something like that.
That's exactly right. How adorable. You might want to bring Patches out when you're retired. Hey, Patches and pockets. That's funny.
By the way, you mentioned Patches. So I want to throw a name at you, Shari Lewis.
Oh,
Remember Shari
yeah.
Lewis?
Oh, yeah.
So I
Yes.
loved Shari Lewis.
Shari
So
Lewis. Lamb
I do
chop.
have, and yes, and Charlie Horse. But this Before You Grow song has a little connection to that because I had written the song and I've always wanted to work with Shari Lewis.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
always been a hero of mine.
Absolutely.
And so I sent her the song and she wrote me back a beautiful letter saying, this is the kind of song that back in the day on early television, an artist would get on stage and sitting on a stool with a spotlight and just sing the song to a child and it would bring the house down.
Yeah.
And she said, unfortunately, nobody does that anymore. But I have this letter and I cherish this letter.
Yeah.
And the good news is that I expressed my heartfelt interest in working with her. And she said, you know what? I live in California. You're in New York. I like my collaborators to be close by. But I pursued her for a few years after that. And she finally said, okay, if I give you a job, will you go away? And I said, yes. So I got to write a couple songs for her TV show at the time. So,
she actually said those words?
Well,
not
I added that for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think she probably thought it.
But she also appreciated that you were talented, and I'm sure she recognized that as well. And she was amazing. Yeah, with Lamb Chop. I loved all of that type of stuff. I loved the Shari Lewises and the Kukla, Fran and Ollie's, although that was a little bit, that was before, but still, you could see it. Paul Winchell's, the ventriloquists, and all that kind of stuff that you don't see ventriloquists anymore, and the puppeteers too much anymore. You used to, I think Madam was another one that came out in later years, that crazy Madam doll. I remember used to see in all those different shows. You don't really see that as much anymore. And I
still have my Jerry Mahoney puppet, more than puppets, a little a dummy. I used to think he was alive, and I would put potato chips in his mouth, into this dummy's mouth. So, that's where the roaches started. But
it's funny. How did they ever come up with the word dummy for those things?
I don't know.
Isn't it amazing? There's places where you can actually get one that looks like you now, but it's not a full ventriloquist situation.
That's a big dummy.
I had the Charlie McCarthy doll. And we used to come up to Connecticut and Massachusetts every year. My mother's the youngest of 16, and there's only 20 years difference between the oldest and the youngest. Think about that. I think they only had 3 channels back then. They had no Netflix or Hulu. And I love that Charlie McCarthy doll, which I believe might have come out of the Sears Wish book at some point. And because I was into the ventriloquism and magic sets and all that stuff, and science sets and spirograph.
I've got my Lionel train set up upstairs.
Do you really?
When I was a kid, my dad started getting into strains, and they grew and they grew and they grew. And after they passed, they went to my other brothers and myself. And over the years, I've acquired most of them. And so we have 3 different levels of them, and they're in the dining room right now. That'll be the next show.
That'll be next. Yeah, because I have all my Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels. So I can bring out the Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels, and you could have the Lionel train set, and we'll build a city. This is interesting about the whole Mr. Rogers connection. I built in my parents' home in New York an entire replica in the basement of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
No kidding.
We actually recreated that. That was always a dream to do that with all the little cars. Because I was always fascinated with miniature versions of real life, of adult life. So even when I watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the open and the close, when they panned through the neighborhood, that always fascinated me, and the trolley and everything. So we actually created a replica of that. I think I had the Hess truck in there maybe, and the Sears Roebuck truck or whatever.
Do you have pictures? I'd like to see them.
Yeah. I built this whole thing, and it was really, really cool. It was. Oh, here's another one too. Remember Bob McAllister, Wonderama?
I remember him and Sonny Fox, and I was on Wonderama once.
Were you really?
Yeah,
Did you open up the cans where the snakes came out?
I didn't do that. I was a guest because I was doing a show and they sent me on for publicity, but they wouldn't even let me do the not Head and Shoulders. What's the thing that Simon Says.
Oh yes, remember Simon said, yeah, yeah. I wish they had a lot more of that back for kids. I also wish, I don't know if you ever got involved in the world of jingles at all, writing jingles or getting involved in the jingle
So
world.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, jingle world is, I mean, jingles are always, all the advertising and just feel good, kind of like your material, very feel good, very positive. Did you ever enter into that world at all?
I did. I don't know if you remember. Well, being from Long Island, you remember Pergament stores?
Sure, your home improvement store. Yeah, absolutely.
So I wrote a theme song for Pergament, and he used it for years. How'd it go? Pergament is part of the good life. We make it easy for you. So
yeah,
that was me.
That was you. That's cool. Is there anything you haven't done that you still want to do? Things that you have on your list of, you've done so much in your career, Dennis, and it's all positive and really great material, and kudos to you for all of it. But is there anything that still is out there for you that you want to tackle that, sort of dangling that you'd like to get a crack at it? Would you like to write a film score, a movie score, or?
I would like to open a bagel store.
And what would the name be and what would the jingle be?
No, seriously though. The one thing I've toyed with for years, and it always seems to take a back seat, is, I'd love to write a Broadway musical. Of course, right now Broadway is closed, so now's not the best time. And I think about it from time to time, and maybe I will get to it. But I'll give you a little plug. A friend of mine who's going to be on your show, who I went to high school with, Jimmy Roberts. I think he's coming up. Is it next week?
Next Sunday, yes, in the evening.
So he actually did it. We grew up together, and we had fun singing Broadway songs together, and we had a little band together. And he wrote the show "I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change," and so it was a little. Jimmy, if you're watching, this is your teaser. I'm setting you up for your big show, and you're going to have a blast with him. He is an amazing talent.
Who's that?
Jimmy Roberts.
It's that Jimmy connection, I guess. Between
I'm sorry.
Right? Jimmy and Jimmy, right?
I'm sorry.
Two Jimmys are better than one. So you were saying some things again that you would love to do. You mentioned that. Anything else, other things? Is there anything that you haven't done that you wish you did? Any opportunities that might have come your way? I mean, New Christie Minstrels. I mean, all these things you've been involved in early on since age 7 is extraordinary. I doubt you'll ever retire because you're always so creative, and it's always, what inspires you? What are some of the things? Are you an observer of life? Do you wake up at 2 a.m. out of a total sleep and say, I got to run to the computer. I got to write that down quick. I interviewed Melissa Manchester a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
And she was fantastic. We had an epic conversation that's on our YouTube channel as well. And she has an interesting mind. She's really creative and fascinating. And I loved the conversation like I do with you. She said her mind has always been racing and creating, and she's thinking and observing. And she would get like an inkling of inspiration. And she'd have to almost immediately get to the piano quickly, because the longer she delayed, it started to fade away. Whatever that inspiration was started to lift away, and it wasn't as sharp and wasn't as clear as it would be the second you thought of this grand thing. How about you? Are you inspired, and do you have to run to record it, save it, type it, whatever?
I'm a little different than that. I like a challenge. I like when somebody says, we need this kind of song, or can you do this? And half the time it's out of my skill set, but I do it anyway. I've always been that way. People, when people said, can you produce an album? I said yes before I knew I could.
Yeah.
So that's the same with my writing. And in fact, early this summer, a producer friend of mine asked if I could write songs for a podcast for Encyclopedia Britannica. And there were songs about Isaac Newton, about Darwin, about solar energy. And, what do I know about that stuff? I was a showbiz kid. So, but I said, I don't know, but I'll try. And we did it and turned out great. So I like that. I love being creative. I love doing something that stretches me to do something that I haven't done before and that maybe I can't do, but I'll give it a shot.
What do you want to do right now that's on the spot, out of the blue, from left field?
Well, I was thinking about dinner would be nice.
I never heard that one. When did you write that one?
Dinner would be nice. Think of it more once or twice. Sorry, I feel like Sammy Khan. Wait, you need a lyric? Okay, here's a lyric.
A lyric.
A lyric. I got to meet Sammy Khan on a Sesame Street Christmas album, and we were doing "Let It Snow." And some of the lyrics in "Let It Snow," are a little racy for children. So I said to Mr. Khan, if you want, we can come up with different lyrics. And he said, no, I'll come up with the lyrics. And 10 minutes later, he had 20 different versions of those lyrics for me.
Really?
And that, I love.
So does that make him a con artist?
Apparently so.
Write that one down.
Con artist. Okay.
No charge.
So anyway.
They didn't tell you to have dinner before coming on this show? I guess you didn't get that memo, did you?
Well, I was hoping
always have dinner before you come on, because
I'm waiting for you to send out for a pizza, for crying out loud.
How's the pizza in Nashville coming from New York?
We have a couple places that are good, but it's like the bagels. When I moved to Nashville, there were no bagel places. And I thought I should do that, but somebody did do it. Now we got bagels. Not as good as New York, but
just for you. They knew that you were in town and you had that bagel fix, and they opened up a bagel shop.
When are you coming to Nashville to come visit us?
I have to come there. That's one city of all in my work in TV and everything that I have yet to be. And there's so many people I know there, and I've got to come. Was it an adjustment for you when you moved there from the East Coast? Do you miss the East Coast? Do you miss the ocean and all? I mean, obviously you still have connections, in the area here, but do you miss the ocean? Do you miss the water? Do you miss any of that?
I'm very happy here in Nashville. I mean, I love New York. I'd love to come and visit. I'd love to see shows. But, as a New Yorker, every day you're on the subway, you're running to one place, and you never stand still. And Nashville is a little slower.
Yeah.
At first, when I came here, I thought, wow, I'm like zipping around everyone with my New York energy. But now I've calmed down a little bit. And I don't miss it that much. I miss family. I miss friends. Yeah. But I'm good with my visits to New York. Of course, if I ever do the Broadway show, I'll stay a little longer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. So you've made your life and your home there, and you really like it.
I do. Very happy here. Yeah. And you can park your car, so that's great. And you can park your car, exactly. And that's why I think across the other side from the Long Island Sound here in southern New England, it's you're near Boston, you're near the city, but you're not in it. You don't have to be necessarily in it, but you can access it, and then you can also hop on a train and you can breathe a little bit. So holiday time. Here are our holidays and new Christian minstrels, of course. Do you have a holiday song that you might want to share with us, or anything that they love the holiday songs here on our show, especially this time of the year? Anything that you'd want to share with us? I could. I'm thinking just to make it different, because you probably have a lot of guests coming on. They're doing Christmas songs, and we're hearing them 24 hours a day. But you know what you don't hear? You don't hear a good Hanukkah song. No, you don't. So this is one that I wrote for a children's project. And if you want to, you out there in TV land can be the echoes. I'll sing a line and then you sing it back. You can be the echoing chorus. What's the title? It's called 8 Little Candles. Family Family gathered round the table. That's your part. Arm and Nora standing tall. Arm and Nora standing tall. Children playing dreidel, dreidel. Children playing dreidel. But what I love most of all. And then together, 8 little candles, and then we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little candles, burning bright. 8 little candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One for every Hanukkah night. Family gathered round the table. Wait a minute, that's the other lyric. Let me sing the second set of lyrics. Wait a minute, I don't have it. Oh, well, 8 little candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little candles, burning bright. 8 little candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One for every Hanukkah night. One for every Hanukkah night. Thank you. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Merry Christmas.
But wait, I think we only got up to 7.
But who's counting?
Yes.
And by the way, that song I wrote again with my friend Timmy Tappan, and he isn't even Jewish. So good job, Timmy.
Versatility is the key to life, right? Variety.
Right. Well, I actually write a lot of songs for the United Methodist Church, so go figure.
You do, really?
I do, yes.
What would be an example of one that you've written?
Oh my gosh. I've written like 70 for them.
Yeah.
I'll save that for the next show.
Yes.
You know what they say? Never overstay your welcome, or you'll never be welcome to stay over.
That's very true. That's very, very true. But you are absolutely more than welcome to come back at any time. You're really amazing. You're very, you've got an infectious personality, and you're very,
They have
very
shots for that now.
They do have shots for that. So tonight, they've said that you are Burgess Meredith. You are, they didn't say Lou Gossett Jr. What'd they say? Not Lou Gossett Jr. They said Lou Diamond Phillips. One person said, is there any Asian in you? You know, if we do our DNA, we're all one. I did a TV show for the upcoming MLK normally they have the national prayer breakfast, but this year obviously they're not doing the prayer breakfast, so they're doing all of it on Zoom, and they have civil rights advocate Jane Elliott going to be speaking. So it's a half-hour television show that I get asked to host, and we did it 2 days ago, interviewing people in the studio, social distancing, masks on until we spoke, and Jane Elliott had a sweatshirt on that said, and I've heard it before, but it's so true. God only made one race, the human race. And that is so true. You know what I mean? We are all one. And the material that you have, these songs and the levity and everything is absolutely spot on. Have you ever thought of going into comedy, itself? I know
I love comedy, and in the Wannabeals, I'm part of the comedy relief, I think there's a lot of that. By the way, not to change the subject, but I don't know if we're running out of time. So I wonder, do you happen to have at your fingertips that video of one of my favorite songs from the Mr. Rogers album, the "Thank You for Being You"?
We don't have that one. Can you do that one?
Oh my, okay. Greatness has been thrust upon me once again.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me see. I can't do it as well. I mean, if you can imagine all these different artists, Cowsills and Jon Secada and Lee Greenwood and all these people, they each have a line in this song. It's kind of like a "We Are the World" for Mr. Rogers. So I will try to do it, but do check it out with all those wonderful people singing it. Even Tom Bergeron is on this album, who you'll know from Dancing with the Stars and America's Funniest Home Video. And in recording the album, I found out Tom not only sings, but he's a great whistler. So he whistles the song. I'm not, but we'll see what we can do. I've started to sing Barry Manilow. I don't want to do that. started. Thank you for caring and helping us grow, sharing ideas that we needed to know. But more important, for all that you do, thank you for being you. Thank you for helping us stand on our own. Thank you for making us feel right at home. Music and stories that we never knew. Thank you for being you. Words could never measure. A gift would be too small. But more than any treasure, we love you most of all. Thank you for making us feel right at home. You made us feel special, now see how we've grown. For all of the dreams that you helped to come true, all of the memories too. Thank you for being you. Thank you.
Really, really beautiful. That's such a great song.
And thank you, Jim. Thank you for being you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. And, you know, while you were doing that, we dug it up here, and I think we can actually play it. We'll pull it off from here. And thank you for being you, from Mr. Rogers' tribute album, Songs from the Neighborhood. Let's share that. This is the one you're talking about, right? The one.
Yeah, that's the previous one. There's a new one, but
I think it was so great hearing the artist perform it too.
Yeah.
It's so great hearing you do it. But let's share at least this so people get a sense of it too. And
sure,
that'll be
great.
Really, yeah, that'll be my pleasure. Thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
You and I need to go on the road together if our careers don't
Absolutely.
work.
I'm ready.
If your career doesn't work out and mine doesn't work out after all these years, we'll go on the road together. Yeah. And here is that song, everybody, and enjoy it. And thank you for being you. We say that to all of our levities too. Thank you for being you here on our show. And here's the song. I usually don't say this word on this show, but damn, that was good. You just capture the certain essence that I absolutely am so in tune with. It. There's just this depth and this warmth to it. If you're having a bad day, you've got to listen to Dennis Scott's material, because you will lift anything up, and it's just really incredible. It really is fantastic, and a lot of people are. Being moved by it all, and they're saying it. Some of them even typing private messages to me saying the same thing. And I love that. I think that's what this show is all about. And that's, what I'm all about and what you're all about. And these incredible people who assemble here all the time to watch our series every day. It's, we're one big community. And again, your music really goes to the core, Dennis. It really, really goes to the core. And it's, and I know you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's music that really, I wouldn't say stands the test of time, because it's music that has no time. It's timeless and so heartfelt. I mean, look at some of the comments coming in. This has been such a delightful evening. Thank you, Dennis. Wishing you and your family safe and happy holidays. And I want to look at a few more that have come in because they're so beautiful. Really delightful evening. Thank you, Dennis, Scott, and Jim. So beautiful, from Linda. Claps from Kathy in New York. Kathy Short, wonderful. Claps from Marsha. Thank you, Dennis and Jim. Thank you for being who you are, June, our dear friend. Christine says, Dennis, it's been so nice learning more about your fantastic career. I've loved all your humor, terrific songs, fun stories, and thank you for being you. You're a very entertaining and caring levity. Thanks for lifting our spirits. Stay Safe. That's from Christine Clifton in North Carolina as well. And what a wonderful video. And Marcia says, you're such a talented and sweet person. You're a delightful man. Thanks for sharing your talents. And Kathleen, thanks for being here. Dennis, stay safe. Take care. Kathy Short, lots of claps. Love that so much from June. Outstanding. Where can I get the Mr. Rogers album?
I can help with that.
Here comes the hawking.
No, you know what? I really appreciate everybody saying that. And that song is very special to me. Yes. And the reason, that's part of the reason it ended up on the new Mr. Rogers album as well, because it really speaks to the heart of what we want to say to Mr. Rogers. When I was interviewing people about this album, which started out as a spoken word album, became a musical album, another story for another day. But I would ask people, if you had one thing you could say to Fred Rogers, what would it be? And they just said, we just want to say thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. And that's why the song, I felt, had to be on this new album. And so it would mean a lot to me. This album, I'll give you guys the inside story now. You ready? And you, Jim, because you're a special person. This album almost never got made because we didn't have support for it. We didn't have the finances for it. And in fact, there really wasn't as much support from the Mr. Rogers Company because it's not what they're into. They're into making children's TV shows, and that's great. But I'm all about Mr. Rogers music. So it came this close to not happening, but I just felt it's something that had to be done. So if you are encouraged by this music, please go out and check out Thank You, Mr. Rogers. Look, I still happen to have it here. Thank You, Mr. Rogers, Music and Memories. And to answer your question, you can get it wherever you find music, Amazon and Spotify, all these different places, even Barnes and Nobles. I think you can order it there too. So just look it up and you'll find it. And if you have any problem, call Jim and he'll call me, and I'll come to your door and I'll hand deliver a copy to you.
Can we still go to the Tower Records in Massapequa or no?
The parking lot is still there. Yeah.
Record World.
Oh my gosh.
Two guys. Oh yeah. Love all that stuff. Absolutely spectacular. And I'm glad that you forged on with that project because it was near and dear. And I know Mr. Fred Rogers himself would have loved all of that. And speaking of that, you know, with my years and years, it's actually a milestone year this year for me on public television. And I'm actually on there right now. If people turn their TVs on Connecticut Public Television, they'll see me on their TV and on here. And I did that once. I was on the radio on iHeartRadio, and it was a Saturday, Sunday morning show, 10 hours live, 5 hours straight hosting Saturdays, 5 hours straight hosting Sundays. And I was on, they had television screens because there's like a newsroom thing too. So they had the TV screens, and all of a sudden a re-air of a public television special was on the screen, but I was live on the radio show in the morning. So the calls came in and people started to say, wait a minute, we're confused. Jim, we're seeing you on public television right now on our TVs, but we're also hearing you say different things on the radio. So I said to the audience, I said, so which one do you think is live and which one do you think is pre-recorded? And they paused and they're like, and I said, there's a possibility that the one that's live is the one that's asking you which one is live and which one is pre-recorded. And that happened so many times. Speaking of the public television connection, I want to show you this wonderful thing I have here, which comes in a box. It was given to me by public television just this maybe August. And it's the Fred Rogers mug. And it's an official mug. And what's really cool about it, I don't have anything hot here, but what happens is his suit, when you put warm liquid into it, turns into his sweater. And this is brand new.
Very cool.
And it's got all the quotes and everything. There's King Friday.
And very nice.
Someday you'll be what does that say? Someday you'll be
a man.
Someday you'll be a grown up too.
Mm.
And all of its sayings, really cool.
That is very cool. I gotta get me one of those.
So what I did was, while you were playing, I ripped the headphones off, ran to the other room, flew upstairs, grabbed it out of the box, and I said, I've got to show this, especially tonight.
Oh, I love it.
And there he is. And there he is. And all of his sayings, all the sayings, all the quotes from the show. And the cast of characters love this too. As I mentioned, George Burns had a wonderful time with you. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Gracie.
Gilligan loved it as well.
Oh, Skipper!
That's right.
Skipper!
Yeah. Can you do a dog?
I'll get Patches back.
You can,
but he gets double scale.
He gets scale, not scales, scale. Couple more last minute comments here. And thank you very much. Cool mug. It really is. It came from public television. Great Neck has had some fabulous talent come out of it. Thank you for representing the best of the hometown. Dennis, cool coffee mug. Wow, that's so cool. Fred Rogers was a gift to all humanity. I concur. Absolutely. Thank you, Jim, for providing this wonderful evening for all of us. You're the best. My pleasure. Very honored to have Dennis here, and he's welcome to come back anytime. What an outstanding, touching video to end the show with. Absolutely. And thank you, Dennis. We love you. What a wonderful guest you are. Your goodness is delightful. Happy holidays. Much love to you and your family. Thank you for bringing such beautiful words in songs. I know everybody's going to want all of your material. Absolutely.
We're having a sale.
You have
going into business sale.
Like a gimbal sale?
Exactly.
Is there a master website, DennisScott.com or anything, anywhere they can go where everything
That's
is?
Exactly it. DennisScott.com. A lot of my stuff is on there. It's free. You can look at it and play it and have fun.
Wow. You must have bought that early. How'd you get DennisScott.com so quickly? Because, you figure it took me a long time to finally get jimmasters.com. I actually just got it about 2 months ago after years of hoping, because there's an English singer, British singer, named the same name. And it's Masters is an English name going back to Yorkshire. And he had that jimmasters.com forever. I have jimmasters.net and all these others, but could never get the jimmasters.com. And finally, about a month ago, it's like winning the lottery, have it, and then we're building a website with it. So for you to get DennisScott.com, how long have you had that?
You know what? I'm wrong. I think it's DennisScott.net. So thanks for reminding me. I know, big buildup.
That story was a waste. I spent all that money for .com.
Well, it just shows my humanity and my frailty. And how I'm wrong most of the time.
You're funny. DennisScott.net.
Yes, sorry.
.net. .com will be next.
But I'm like you. I'm waiting. My moment will come.
I tell you, yeah, it wasn't easy. It took a long time. I might have still been in college when I first looked for it. You're a blessing, sir. You really are.
Thank you so much.
The audience is saying, I hope you can go back to see us. Again, we like to have a warm environment here, bring in the viewers from around the world, have some good, inspiring conversations, entertainment, levity. Whatever happens, happens. We don't have to script it. There's no teleprompter. We just have a good time. With you, we did. And I certainly hope, my friend, that we do get together, whether you're back east or we're there in Nashville. We'll get together, break bread, pour wine, whatever.
Love it. Eat a bagel.
Have Fluffernutters and Pop-Tarts and Kool-Aid.
Right. And watch Tom Terrific.
And Courageous Cat and Wacky Races. And it's like two children. You got the train set, and I'm coming with my Matchbox cars and my kaleidoscopes and my Connect 4. So you're fantastic. Thanks for all of the time. Thanks for, I know you went through heroics setting everything up. You wanted it to sound. I mean, I'm just going to let the audience know right now. He worked diligently the last 48 hours to make sure that audio sounded good. We had everything we needed. He really was very diligent in making sure that, we were going to have a good show. And I love when guests take that time to make sure that everything is the way it should be, because that's what we want. We want a broadcast that is doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to show the best that we can. And before we go, people have been asking, the room that you're in, the equipment, the kind of guitar you have. Maybe you can tell us that before we head out.
Okay. Well, the guitar is circa 1968. It's a Gibson B2, and I had it in high school. This is the guitar that went with my first band. We were all buddies, and we would go to the beach and then take the guitar and take it out and harmonize and hopefully meet some girls that way. Wish that had happened. And a little blast from the past from New York. You all probably know Cousin Bruce Morrow. Well, he had a show and he had a contest called The Big Break. And my band from high school, the three of us, entered that. And we got to be on the radio with Cousin Brucey, and we got to sing Hey Jude and Sgt. Pepper. And we didn't win, but this guitar went with me. So there's that. As far as the studio goes, this is when my wife and I and my child moved to this house. We were lucky enough to find a place with an above ground basement. So you can't see it because it's dark out now, but you can look out the windows and you can see daylight and trees. And we've got a few different rooms for voiceovers and isolated instruments. My office is behind me. So this is my little castle. This is where I spend most of my day. And occasionally I see the rest of my family, and it works out perfectly. So there.
And that's it. And you're a multi-instrumentalist, aren't you?
I play a few things, none of them well, but well, I shouldn't say it. Compared to the guys you have here in Nashville, they play circles around me, but I'm just trying to keep up with everybody.
You've done a fine job, Mr. Scott, a fine job. You were wonderful, Dennis, our newest levity. Thank you, Dennis. Hope you have a beautiful holiday as well. Happy holiday. Stay safe. Great time. Hope you come back to see us. And that's your man cave, LOL.
You're right. That's
the new version.
Yeah, with the recording equipment.
Did you go to North or South High School?
North.
Yeah, I know every town on the island, it's north, south, east, west, junior high schools and high schools. And yeah, good stuff. My friend, we toast you. We toast you and your family, the holidays, all of your incredible, impressive career. You have something? Now you can reach. There you go. Toast. Cheers. L'chaim, Slancha.
L'chaim, yes, as we say.
L'chaim. Chunika. The best to you and yours. I hope.
Thank you for having me. You are a host extraordinaire, and it's just a delight to be with someone who is professional as you and still has a heart. And I appreciate you. And I'm going to get you your own copy of Thank You, Mr. Rogers, Music and Memories, because it needs to go inside your coffee cup. It's got to go in that coffee cup with George and Gilligan and Jeannie and all the rest of the gang here. Yeah. That's very beautiful. I really appreciate that. It was very kind of you. And you are definitely a levity, my friend. You really, proud really to be are. One. I'm proud to be a levity. Now, when you that's hard to rhyme. That really is. I'll work on it. Now, when you go into the supermarket, when you're able to, you can tell people, you know what? I got a couple of Grammys, yes, but I became a levity on the Jim Masters Show live, and that's going to stop traffic. I can retire now. Happy. You're the best. I hope the show met your expectations and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you. It was a blast. It was a blast. I'd love to see you again, and all your friends and fans out there and people writing in. You guys are so much fun. This has been wild. I love it. We try to make it warm. We try to make it comfortable. And again, Sherry Showing Line says, definitely, please come back, Dennis. You're such a talented man as well as a levity. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and your music. Thank you. Karen, thank you. I appreciate that. And have a great best. Thank you. And June, thank you for everything as well. And Linda in Florida, St. Augustine, please do come back and see all of us levities. Good night. And we are all proud to be levities. Christine says, cheers, Jim and Dennis. Thanks to you both for an enjoyable evening. It is our pleasure. Our pleasure. No copay, no charge. You have a wonderful rest of your evening, sir. It was a real hoot. Lots of fun, lots of levity. And thanks again for all the time. 2 hours and 24 minutes. Is that a record?
No, you know what? You don't want, you want to really know what the record was? You're not
Who's
going
got the record?
Oh my God. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. He is an actor originally from New Jersey. He lives in California. He was in The Toy with Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason. He loves White Castle. He said when he's ever back east, he wants to go to White Castle with me. He was also in A Christmas Story, and he was the kid who got his tongue stuck to the pole in A Christmas Story.
Oh.
Scott Schwartz.
Wow.
Scott Schwartz was on. We had an epic conversation, and he had a lot to say. He was in his backyard of his home. I think he went through 45 bottles of Snapple, I think it was, Diet Snapple. He opened up about his entire life, relationships with family, relationships with Richard Pryor, how Richard Pryor, he was a little bit closer to Pryor than he was to Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason was sort of this real icon. Richard Pryor, he found to be very approachable and sort of mentored him. As Linda says, 6 hours with Scott Schwartz. 6 hours.
That's amazing.
6 hours.
Was there a bathroom break somewhere in the middle of it?
Not for the host either. Not for the host. It's amazing. You figure what the 45 Snapples that he would have. He was really opening up about his entire life, and it was like a lot of guests have said when they come on, like you said, wow, I haven't really sung a lot of these songs, or a lot of people are saying, gee, I haven't performed anything since March, or I haven't been on set or on stage, or I just haven't seen my family, or whatever it may be. They don't all have to be musicians or actors to be on our show. We have everybody. But when they come on, they open up about their lives. And that's why you said it in the first 5 minutes, therapy session. It kind of is like that in a way, because people feel so comfortable, and as do I, and so the viewers, that they share things about them that they never thought they were going to say. Sarah Brightman told me that once, real quick. I was doing a national PBS special, and I was brought in to be host and co-host. And I was the one interviewing Sarah Brightman in the television studio. And it was a wonderful thing. And they had mentioned, that this is Sarah Brightman coming in. And they thought that, maybe she would be more reserved and more stoic or what have you. She's very wonderful and very talented and very, classically trained and brilliant at what she does. And I saw her come out of the green room, and she looked stunning. I mean, she absolutely looked stunning, and she was very British and very classy and very reserved. And they put us on set, the producers. And this was one of those times when there were phones behind us. So people were calling in, supporting public television programming. This was live. This was nationally on PBS across the country and into Canada. And it was a special that she did called Symphony in Vienna. Beautiful public television special, filmed in Austria. And she, epic lighting and epic music. She was live in the studio, and she, at first they said that they wanted her to, maybe loosen a little bit and be a little bit more responsive and emotive. So I sort of in an intuitive way can understand when people, maybe need me to sort of come in and be sort of like a net a little bit. So without pointing out that I'm the net, I like to be a net without pointing out that I was the net that made somebody comfortable. And because sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. So they put us together, and phones are ringing, and we did our live interview segment. Then they went back to the actual special, and then they came back live to the studio, and we were chatting more. And after the first time we did it, the producer came running up to us and said, "Oh, Sarah, that's terrific. We loved what you were saying. And you and Jim, the camaraderie is amazing, and you're getting each other, and just the conversation is so smooth, and you're emoting, and you're getting so comfortable that you are moving closer to Jim." And I was here and she was here, and there was a TV monitor behind us. So they said, "You're getting so comfortable with Jim that you're actually now blocking the monitor. So Sarah, if you can step up just half a foot, because we still need to see the monitor behind you guys." And we did it 4 more times. When the night was coming to an end and everything was done and it was well received and it was a fantastic evening. And again, another reason why I love my association with public television all these years. We're walking out and I almost feel somebody pull my arm out of its socket. I turn around and it's Sarah. And I thought maybe I forgot to say something, or maybe I should have emphasized something, or she had something she wanted to tell me that was important. And she said, I want to tell you something, and I don't want the producers to hear this. I just want you to hear this. And I need to thank you. And I said, thank me for what? For what? I mean, this was a pleasure. I was enjoying the time with you. She said, this isn't something I normally do. Live television studio and all these cameras and phones ringing and all this movement and chaos and really nothing scripted and telepromptered. And this was ad lib, and we were doing our thing and doing a live conversation like you and I have just done all this time. And I have to thank you because you made me so comfortable and feel so welcomed and at ease. I told you things I never thought I was going to say, and I've never said to anybody. And it was terrific. So before we leave and we get back on the plane to London and we leave this television studio, I need you to know that, because I think it's a gift that you've offered that you might not even realize that you offer. And I've had many people say that subsequently, and I've paid attention to that in my professional work. And even people have said it with this show as well. So hopefully you got a sense of that. Not that you need any of that, because you're back and forth. It's a great tennis match with you. You get it and you serve it back, and it's like really. I love conversations like that.
I wish most interviews were like this. This was fun, and I'm getting to know you too. And next time it'll be even better.
Even better. You are the best. We're gonna let you go because you got to have dinner. What are you gonna have for dinner? This is a foodie crowd.
Oh,
what's big in Nashville?
People like hot chicken here, which I haven't even tried yet. So much for me being a Nashvilleian, but I'm going to work on it.
What, do you usually like cold chicken?
No, it's like super spicy. It burns people's tongues off, but it's like the rage here.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm not. I'll tell you what I'm not having. That's what I'm not having.
He's not having that because your throat would be like what's behind me here.
I will have something in the way I eat. I don't know yet. I'll open up a can.
And then it would become plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
I remember that one too.
Yes, those again, the jingles back then were awesome. All right. This is not the crowd. This is like an Irish and a Jewish goodbye. They are lengthy, but they mean well. Where
do you want to go now? Go to the diner?
Oh yes, of course. And,
diner.
You got to have a Monte Cristo and a hot chocolate.
Absolutely. It's great talking to a fellow New Yorker. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Well, I'm here. If you get down in the jumps, you have my number. I always answer like the crisis hotline. And when we're at the diner, we'll have a knish with mustard.
Oh.
Can't beat that, huh? I know. You're going to get hungry for that. You're going to start in the car. You're going to drive east. All right. You take care. Thanks for all the time. Best of the holidays, best of health. And we'll have you back again real soon, my friend.
And take the rest of the night off.
I know. 2 shows today on a Saturday.
Amazing.
I tell you.
You can do it, Jimmy boy. You did a great job. You did. I'm very proud of you.
Little Dublin in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend.
Be safe.
You too. Best of the holidays. We'll see you again real soon, okay?
We'll talk. That's fantastic. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. It's like a 2-minute wave, right? Sorry about that. I know, you too. Take care. Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Fantastic. And yes, we went to Sarge's in Manhattan, didn't we, June? And I think I didn't have a Monte Cristo. What did I have? I had a tuna melt with split pea soup, and it was with you. after some show that we went to. Do you remember the show that it was? My fantastic friend June, Scobie Diner. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tesla Bella. Thank you, Karen. We'll have to have him come back for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Karen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Karen. Karen wins the night. And thank you as well. Just taking a look at some of the final comments. This was an epic day. 2 shows live back to back, and Dennis was absolutely amazing. And again, don't forget to check out all of the material. And I'm going to show this to you one more time if you missed it. You can get this. This is available. We were talking about the Mr. Rogers CD, and it's my pleasure to show this again. Here is the cover. There it is. And look at all the names on that CD. Fred's songs performed by award-winning artists. I mean, look at the names. Tom Bergeron, who he's somebody I'd still like to meet. Oh, I'd love to interview him. You know, from one host to the next. Tom Bergeron, I always enjoyed Dick Clark. As you know, I told you Regis Philbin was a friend. I would love to. Dick Van Dyke is on the list. Look at the names: Lee Greenwood and Jon Secada, Jim Brickman, who I interviewed multiple times on PBS, and more. You want to see the empty seat? There it is. How many times have we shown you empty seats on our show? That's a classic thing on our series here. We always get to get at least one empty seat in there. But there is that CD. And I just want to tell you, we have some amazing guests coming up. Tomorrow, live from Ireland, we have the one and only Roy Buckley. Roy Buckley is extraordinary. He's a very popular Irish singer, musician, songwriter. He is here tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's on our YouTube channel at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England. So join us. Our show tomorrow is early. We don't have an evening show tomorrow. We won't be here at 7 p.m. Eastern. So class is dismissed. You can play among yourselves tomorrow night. Maybe do holiday shopping or wrapping or get that tree up or the menorah or whatever it might be, or spend time with your family. But we will be here in the afternoon for this epic show with Roy Buckley. Roy is extraordinarily popular in Ireland, and he's going to be here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England. Just want to thank as well Corner Boy, who was with us earlier today, Mike Darcy, performer extraordinaire, founder of the very popular Irish folk and rock band. And if you didn't see that episode, it was on YouTube live at 3 p.m. Eastern today. You can see the entire epic episode on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Also, Holly V. Maxwell was with us on Friday night, and boy, did she open up about her life. She was absolutely amazing. If you didn't see that episode, that's on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Sharon McKnight was with us as well. She was amazing. She was on Thursday night. Oh, yeah. Jerry Goring was with us as well, and Michael and Marty were with us this past week. All of these episodes are on YouTube. We thank once again extraordinary talent and just a real heart-centric person, Dennis Scott, 2-time Grammy-winning songwriter and producer, musician, performer. He came from a different spaceship. He came from a place of love, and really, I tell you, he's absolutely amazing. Want to let you know, too, on Monday, we have a wonderful performer, actress and singer and music teacher, Jill Usdan, is going to be with us as well. She's going to be here on Monday, which is really, really cool. Then we have epic celebrity caricaturist and filmmaker and illustrator Bill Plimpton is going to be with us on Tuesday. This is Bill. It's going to be absolutely amazing. On Wednesday, award-winning performer, singer, actress, songwriter extraordinaire, as well as numerologist, the one and only Bobby Horowitz is going to be with us. She is a New York institution. She's going to be with us live on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have extraordinary caricaturist, celebrity caricaturist, and illustrator. This is Ken Fallon. He's amazing. He's going to be with us as well. And Bill is the cartoonist. Caricaturist is Ken Fallon. He's going to be with us on Thursday. Friday, from Celtic Thunder fame, Emmett O'Hanlon is going to be here. He just got in from Germany, where he was performing with the opera there. He was with the Lyric Opera in Chicago. He's originally also from Long Island, New York. He was with the group Celtic Thunder. And also, he's an Irish-American baritone. His mom has a fantastic restaurant in Manhattan. Had a chance to go to it multiple times when we've been hanging out. He hears here on Friday. Tammy McCann, jazz vocalist and dear friend from Chicago, is going to be here on Friday night. We also have Sir James Galway, 30 million albums sold. He is a legendary Irish flautist. His wife, Lady Jean Galway, who's originally from New York as well, they are going to be with us together. And that's going to be on the 18th of December. We're going to do a very special happy birthday show to Sir James Galway that Lady Jean and I are, we're actually putting it together behind the scenes. It's going to be a holiday show and a special birthday celebration celebrating Sir James Galway. He's from Ireland. She's from New York, actually from Long Island originally. They live in Switzerland, so they're going to be live from Switzerland. That's coming up on December 18th. Connor McGinty is going to be here next weekend, next Sunday. He's a brilliant songwriter, singer, musician. He is the cousin of Damien McGinty. He's going to be here as well. And so many more. Darren Holden, who is with Riverdance, as well as he's with the High Kings. He's going to be with us. Keith Harkin is with us next week from originally Celtic Thunder. He's from Ireland, lives in Los Angeles, but right now he's in Portugal with his wife and child, and he's going to be performing live. Very special guest, again, originally with Celtic Thunder as well. So many people. And again, I just wanted to show you, if you missed it earlier, little teaser on that Mr. Rogers CD. Here it is again. And enjoy it. It's quite short, but it's really cool. And if you didn't get a chance to get that CD yet, you should. If you liked what you heard tonight and it made you feel good and it sort of blends in with, sort of the inspiration that you want in your life, you got to get a lot of Dennis Scott's music. It's really brilliant. Here's that clip again.
Come celebrate the holidays with Mr. Rogers and his friends.
It's a beautiful day.
Give the gift of this one-of-a-kind tribute album. Thank You, Mr. Rogers, Music and Memories. Available where all music is sold.
Won't you be my neighbor? There he is, Mr. Rogers. You can't beat it, right? Hey, if you missed this episode and you'd like to watch this again or any of the past episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live, they're all available on our YouTube channel. There it is. www. Does anybody say, somebody told me once I was on television and I was saying it was scripted I was reading, and somebody said to me, nobody says the W's anymore, Jim. They just say the name of the website and that's it. They don't say www. We're in such a fast-paced world where people don't want to say the W's anymore, but we were always trained in college or on-air broadcasting that you would say W. You don't say W or W, you say W. Just like NEWS, we were trained on air not to say news, like eyewitness news or action news. It's eyewitness news. That's how you're supposed to. And they used to have a little, there was like this indentation on the actual wall that said, don't say NOOS or NOOZE. Everybody is supposed to say news. That's the proper way to say it. Eyewitness news. See, a little more trivia for you. So now when you play Trivial Pursuit, if I can say it, you'll have something to tell people. So there it is, www.youtube.com/Jim Masters TV. Subscribe to the channel and enjoy. This hair is getting long. It was fuller. If you watched the episode we did earlier, we had a totally different. I had a 1 hour quick change from the afternoon show today to the night show. I had to go upstairs, do the whole thing, fix the hair differently, do a whole routine, different outfit, squeeze in dinner, respond to some emails, check in with family, get everything together for tonight's show. It was a whirlwind, and it was a heck of a lot of fun to put it all together for you guys. Shari says, what an awesome day we've spent with you and your amazing guest, Jim. In case you haven't been told lately, we love being with you in Levity Hall. You are the very best. Thank you very much. And I hope you guys, I love that, Shari, right back at you watching on our YouTube channel. Everybody watching on the YouTube channel, we would love it if you subscribe to the channel. We're building that channel together. And we've got something special for the 1,000th subscriber, whoever that 1,000th person is that subscribes to the YouTube channel and sticks with it for at least a year. There's no charge to subscribe. I don't know whether they use the word subscribe with the YouTube channel. There's no charge to be on the YouTube channel, but they're going to get something special from the Jim Masters Show Live. Hope you'll like it. Our cool set here, very festive. Fireplace and colors and gifts and all kinds of cool things. We got a Santa Claus over there. That's a family heirloom. I know I'm sort of blocking it, but that's a family heirloom. We've got another one over there, and another one behind me. It's like doing the weather. I used to do the weather, and I remember we were trained to have to remember how to show, like, Alaska's there and Boston's there and New York's there. Well, there it is. You see it right there, right? There. Take this hand down, Jim. There you go. See, you have both hands and you're throwing yourself off. You don't know whether you're coming or going. But we try to make the set colorful and festive for all of you out there in Levity Land. And we've got a couple more things we're going to add tomorrow. So if you're with us at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in England, Ireland, Scotland, for incredible talent, Irish talent, live from Ireland, Roy Buckley. If you're with us tomorrow, you may see an added item on the set. Take a look at the set now. Try to memorize it and see if tomorrow there's something added, what we will have added by tomorrow, what will be added to the set tomorrow. A little trivia there. All right. Good stuff, gang. Thank you, Jim. This was cool. This was an all day. It's like we were, I don't know, I feel like we were on a class trip today, seeing all of you twice. We've been together since 3 o'clock Eastern. So let's see, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 7 hours we've been together, minus the 1 hour that we got a chance to cram in dinner. Thank you, Jim. Hope you can get some rest. Have a great night. We will. We have the one show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then we're wrapped for the rest of the night, but we got a really cool show. Just want to remind you that our friend Tess is back Monday night. I just asked her today, maybe about 3 hours ago. I said, hey, Tess, cookie lady. She's not the Cookie Monster, since we're talking about Sesame Street and all that. She's the cookie lady. And man, is she good. She's also a dear friend. She's coming back. If you didn't see the episode that she and I had together, you all fell in love with it. So it's the holiday time. Positive vibes. I said, hey, Tess, we have a guest at 4 o'clock, which is the wonderful, brilliant actress, singer, music teacher, Jill Usden. She's coming at 4 p.m. Eastern live as our special guest on Jim Masters TV. But Tess and I are going to be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Monday. We're doing 2 shows on Monday. Remember I said last night, or was it Friday, when I said December is a December to remember? We are cranking out lots of shows to keep you inspired, motivated, positive, connected, happy, informed, educated, and entertained. So Tess, get ready. Jim and Tess are coming back. It's going to be fun. Monday night at 7 p.m. Tess is back with us. That's right. Tess and Jim, Labella and Masters. Shari, your set is so beautiful, makes us feel so warm and welcome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Probably. Was last night Friday? You mean this isn't Sunday? I tell you, I've always been rushing the weeks. Have you been rushing the weeks too? I've been like on Wednesday, keep thinking it's Thursday. Thursday, keep thinking it's Friday. And that's probably because of the year that we've had. I've been pushing the weeks ahead. One of my favorite days is Christmas. Christmas Day, I love. I love Christmas. And we hope that our family is going to be able to get together. We have to see. They are 1,500 miles away in Florida. We have family up here as well in New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts, and a lot of family up here as well. But our parents and sister, brother-in-law, family and kids, they're there. They had moved from the north, built homes in Florida, and they're in the south. So we usually gather there. Everything was always in New York and then up in Connecticut, Massachusetts. Now Florida. So we're hoping we can get down there. You know, travel is going to be interesting and COVID and everything. And I know it has been for a lot of people. So Tess will be on Monday. Tess is on Monday. Yay, Tess. So we will see you tomorrow, Marcia. Absolutely. 3 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel exclusively. It's a YouTube event with Roy Buckley, live and direct from Ireland. The fire must be making you too warm this afternoon. You took your sweater off. Actually, this is another sweater. This one's a little bit lighter. We wanted to change up the colors. We had a green sweater earlier, if you may remember. Good night, Jim and all lovities. This was a fabulous day. First with Mick Van Dennis. Cool stuff. Feeling good. Thank you, Jim. Hope you can get some rest. See you Monday, Tess. Absolutely. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see. What an awesome day spent. I'm liking these early shows. Thanks for 2 great conversations today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Got to run. Good night, Jim. Kathy, you too. Good night to you and to Cleveland. Good. Perfect. Excellent. Roy is great, isn't he? Roy is terrific. You have invited friends to come see Roy on YouTube. Perfect. Ask them to like or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would like that. We're doing a big thing where, look at our Facebook page. You'll see what we're doing. We want to say thank you to everybody. 2 awesome shows. Of course, all your shows are awesome. Thank you very much. And Bernadette, Karen, and thank you, Jim. Another excellent show. Good night to you and to everyone. Stay safe and stay well. Yes, remember we went to the Russian vodka room with Mairead Nesbitt, our dear friend from Celtic Woman, and so much more was with us. Good night, Kathleen. It was an excellent show, Mr. Levity. We had a hoot of a time. Dennis was fun. Mick was earlier too on our afternoon show. We have to go, when they reopen, we got to go back there. The Russian vodka room in Manhattan is awesome. We had a great, great night. And that was after Carnegie Hall, wasn't it? Was that after Carnegie Hall, I think? When I was at Carnegie Hall? Christine, it was a double Levity day. Thanks for 2 terrific shows. Good night, Jim and Levity friends. You too, Christine. And say hello to your mom for me. Blow a kiss her direction. Please come to Florida. I hope we can get there. Yes, we want to get there. Christmas isn't the same when you don't, Oh, yes, it was Rocktopia on Broadway. That's right. I invited you guys to come to Rocktopia. That was awesome. There's something new that actually is coming out that Mairead is a part of. And good stuff, gang. I hope we got as many of the folks in here. You are the best Lovities. You, the folks who are watching and commenting. And now I know a lot of people do watch and they don't comment, and that's perfectly fine. There's no prerequisite. Say that after talking for 7 hours straight. You don't have to comment in order to watch our show and enjoy it. The Lovities that like to comment, we love it because you're participating in the show, and I love that. But don't ever feel like you have to comment or write something in order to enjoy the Jim Masters Show live. As long as you're here and you're tuned in and it makes your day, then it makes my day. So, but for those of you who do comment and post and share the Levity, we love that too. You guys are absolutely the very best. So with that, we're going to say good night. We're going to say good day for the second time. We did it earlier. Don't forget to relax, breathe, take care of yourself, love one another, love yourself as well. Breathe from the diaphragm, relax, okay? Relax. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just relax. Let your blood pressure just come down a little bit. Talk a little slower. Say the words fully. If you want to say a website that has www in it, then say the www. And take time for yourself. Again, we live in a very fast-paced world. Life is unpredictable. Life is short. And as we have learned this year, anything can happen. One of the beautiful things that have happened this year is the creation of this show and meeting all of you. I've done this work for a long time and in various ways, shapes, and forms in television, radio, and stage. And this little creation that we've built here is really a blessing. It's a heck of a lot of work to put it all together, but man, is this fun. And it's as therapeutic and rewarding for me as all of you tell me that it is for you with your private messages and your tagging and your posting and your Instagrams and your Twitter comments and your Facebook messages and liking and sharing. I really appreciate every single one of you who are doing that. You're sharing, you're liking, you're inviting friends, you're subscribing, following, all those crazy things we have to do to stay connected. And that helps the show too. Some people say, what can we do to help the show? Subscribing, sharing, liking, tagging, letting us know how much these shows mean to you. It's a blessing. You're a blessing as well. And as well, we always say, we have a little routine here. I try not to forget it. Don't forget to smile. That's so in line with our feeling here at the show. Don't forget to share the levity. Yes, that's me with shorter hair. At the water again, of course. Yes, got to be near the water. Zen place with loving family and friends. That's numero uno. When with family and friends, that always comes first. Family first. Nothing tops family. And then, of course, the ocean. I love the ocean, as you guys know, growing up in the Northeast in the United States. You got to drag me out of the ocean. The ocean is a Zen place for me, very peaceful. I swim it, surf it, kiteboard it, boogie board it, sail it, and walk it. And jog it, whatever it may be. So that's one of my Zen places. Of course, my work in television and radio and all the years, networks and TV stations, radio stations on location, all the different places and things I've had an opportunity to do with wonderful people. Blessing as well as are all of you. So on behalf of Mr. Rogers and Dennis Scott and all of our wonderful folks involved with the show, good night, lovities. What a fun Saturday spent with all of you. Sleep well, please. Stay safe, all. Beautifully said, Shari. You too. Smooches to Kathleen. Right back at you. And Sue says, I don't know how you do it all. Are you the Energizer Bunny in disguise? The secret is out. Yes, I am. Yes, I sure am. And Bernadette says, oh, forgot the word no. Oh, I don't. You know what's funny? I'm. You know what it is? I'm so used to being handed scripts sometimes, and I used to do proofreading for a newspaper, and sometimes I've had to sort of self-edit my own scripts too when I'm live on the air, if I'm doing teleprompter or doing news or whatever, or hosting another show where I know what you say. It says, I don't how you do it all. For some reason, I read it, I don't know how you do it all. My eyes just saw the no without you putting the no in there. And I think that just comes from years of reading scripts and doing self on the spot editing at times, because sometimes we have to do that when we're reading important information. We have to sort of know what the person is trying to say. So no problem. We knew what you meant. Such a blessing. We all are to each other. I concur, gang. You guys are the best. So we're going to wrap. We are going to wrap. And we wish you all the blessings of the rest of the day. Thanks for being with us. This was truly an epic day here. 2 back-to-back shows. Best of the holidays to all of you. I'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. But we're going to sleep in the morning. We've got Roy Buckley's show all set and ready to go. He's going to perform live. He has a bevy of great songs. He's going to perform live. We're very excited about it. You may remember Roy was not with us. He was with us in his comments when Phil Coulter, Irish music legend Phil Coulter, was on as a guest. Roy Buckley was commenting because Phil Coulter and Roy have been working on projects together. So Roy is here with us tomorrow. YouTube channel exclusively. So if you look for us on Facebook, tomorrow it's a YouTube day, Jim, as we're building that channel and working on a promotion with YouTube. So check that out and you'll love it. And you have a great day, great rest of your evening. And Monday, Tesla Bella's here at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a hoot and a holler and holiday merriment and mayhem galore. And before that, at 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Facebook, Jill Usdan is going to be with us, and she's a brilliant performer as well. So that's about it. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time on the Jim Masters Show Live, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation with entertainment and lots of levity. And boy, do we love doing it. For those of you who love our theme music, get ready to do your dancing and your jumping around your living rooms. We'll see you tomorrow. Love to you all, and thanks for being with us for 2 episodes back to back of the Jim Masters Show Live. And you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to finish the rest of my dinner, and then we're going to have a popsicle. Kind of fancy, huh? But we're going to finish this vino first. Doesn't really go with the popsicle. The popsicle is lemon lime, but it does go with the dinner and the fire and the setting. Good night, gang. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. And thanks for being with us again. Truly from my heart. It's a blessing having all of you here as often as you are on the Jim Masters Show Live. You take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.